Teacher Educating Ricky, which is a bit of a play on words as well. Right. Do you know the film, Steve?
Educating Rita?
Yeah.
I see what you've done. Go on.
I'm doing that, and I teach Ricky stuff.
What do you teach me, Karl?
Well, I've got a few different topics.
Go on.
Do you know, like how you taught me about Hitler and Che Guevara and Winston Churchill? Mm-hmm. I'm going to come in with topics every week, and this week I've got,
ghosts?
No, hanging bacon is one of the topics.
Say that again?
Hanging bacon.
Hanging bacon?
All the titles...
Francis Bacon?
No, all the titles are sort of named to sort of tease you and get you more interested in it.
Hanging bacon? Well, you've certainly intrigued
Go
me.
on, what's another title one?
Hairy Chinese kid.
I'm gonna go for that one.
If there was a university degree with that title...
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for Hairy Chinese Kid,
And
I think.
the final one,
Yeah.
Alien gives man a beard.
Right.
Alien gives man a beard.
I am gonna burst. Right, listen, Karl, you've gotta tell me. Right, first, right, let's do it in reverse order.
We're not gonna do it now anyway.
What do you mean? We've got to do it now. I mean, this is the first interesting thing you've said in an hour. Okay, the listeners have just been subjected to rubbish and mistakes and everything for the last 6 months. Please, we've got to do Alien gives man a beard. What is that? Tell us that.
Right.
Sorry, this is just you telling me something, is it? This feature is you telling me something.
Well, teaching you something, educating Ricky. Huh?
So, are we playing it now? We're already into this feature, well into this feature, are we?
Yeah, I suppose we are, yeah.
Should there not be a jingle or something?
Yeah, can we have a
Well, there's
jingle?
no point, because look, I come up with ideas and you dismiss them straight away, so I'm not wasting my time making stuff.
Right.
If you don't like
well, okay,
it.
let's play Educating Ricky.
Right.
Brilliant. Go. Right. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Educating Ricky.
Right, what we going for then? Hanging the bacon, Hairy Chinese kid, Alien gives man a beard.
I think Alien gives man a beard.
I'd like to do that.
Right, there's this fella, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And,
Karl, if you're bored.
and he stood there.
This is a true story, is it?
Yeah. He stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light, and it came closer and closer, and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it, and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car,
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror.
Yep.
He's only got a beard.
He has.
You sure it wasn't someone else who got in the car? And he was still standing out there?
No, right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and I grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is...
He passed out because he was pissed.
No. The UFO had taken him for 3 days.
Yeah.
But he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is, he took him, and
Yeah.
he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video maybe and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right, a man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's grown
the
a
length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he was
he'd been
lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious, he'd had a car crash.
Just
any
lying.
number of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3
Yeah,
days
and that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
He's not gonna believe I was out with you lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, look, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's...
Exactly.
Right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction.
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this, what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says, if you touch a UFO, you're gonna get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that, do you know, like, all their rules have a code?
Karl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right, do you know like how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Right,
Okay.
do you know like over here?
I'm listening to Capital on these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that.
No way, it's great. No,
I want to hear about airy Chinese kid. But we've got, thanks for staying, listening. Right, okay, educating Ricky. What have we got? Airy Chinese kid, go on.
Right, yeah, this is the, I didn't want to do this.
What do you didn't want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you 3 and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah,
And-
which was total rubbish, so this one should be better, maybe.
Hairy Chinese kid. Right, well, we've talked about hairy people in the past.
True enough.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah, again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not, there were some people that were born very hirsute. They were not the people who were brought up with wolves. You just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right, well, this is like a sort of close to that sort of story.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, right, Chinese people aren't that hairy. As a nation. No, seriously. That's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff.
Okay.
So, this little kid who was born over there, he was, like, covered in stuff.
Was he?
And it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of
What
grew.
sort of hair was it? Was
Thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of, like a pony's mane, so he just looked like an Ewok? You know what I mean? Just like hanging down sort of straight, dark
Well,
hair.
in the picture, it looked like it grows
was it
from
downy?
his eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick, and then it just goes all the way over.
You
his
don't think
head.
it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of like his back and that.
Yeah.
And
Had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff or?
no, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this is a bit weird. Happening in China, where we're not normally that hairy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the press, the local press and that were getting him down, calling him monkey boy and all this.
Oh,
And,
thinking Chinese press.
but the doctor,
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they? It's like
doctor's-
those game shows. That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all that.
Yeah.
and the doctor said,
I was Carl talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then. Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go
So
on.
anyway, the local press came down to see the hairy boy, the monkey
yeah,
boy.
and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said,
Showing him nuts.
he's only hairy. Said, he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the,
That's the end of the story.
That's not a story.
why?
But I've got nothing. I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and a boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like bloke from Manchester went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He were normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Do you know what I mean?
All right then.
Hang on.
Hold on, he's got the big guns. You're not going to give us hanging bacon, are you?
Yeah.
Come on then, come on then,
Right.
This is
come
the one
on,
we've been looking
come
forward
on.
to. This is it.
No, this is a good one.
This is the one.
And this is a story, right? Do you know the saying, chewing the fat?
Good one, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
Talking.
Right. Well, do you know where it came from?
No.
Right, what they used to do years ago, when people didn't have much money.
Is this the same as the throwing the baby out of the bathwater?
No, it's not the, well, it's not the same saying, but it's...
No, but I mean, is it as wrong as that was?
Well, let me tell you, and we'll
Go
see.
on. Okay.
Like, people go out to work, and with the money, they'd buy food.
Oh yeah, go on. This is a good system. What? Go on. What do you mean? People go out to work and with the system.
And
Well, go on.
if you were quite well off, you might treat your family to some bacon, right? But do you know, like in these days, if people earn a lot of money, they might buy a nice suit or a car.
Yeah, so what are you saying? You're saying wait, let me get this straight. You're saying that you go out to work and get money to buy things to live, and if you get sort of enough money to live and you've got some left over, you might treat yourself on like a suit or a car or something. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
go on.
back then, if
Yeah.
you earned money, they'd say,
This is olden times.
yeah,
Okay.
let's get some bacon in. right? And what they'd do, they'd hang it in the kitchen.
What, to show it off?
To show it off to all the neighbours and friends. Because if you had hanging bacon, it was like, he's doing alright for himself.
Yeah.
Some lovely bacon.
So they had loads of bacon hanging up, and people would come round, right? And whilst they stood in the kitchen talking about whatever they're talking about,
in olden times,
they'd say, do you want a bit of rind? And they'd rip a little bit of rind off, and whilst they're having a chit-chat,
Chewing the
they'd
fat.
chew on the rind.
Well, I think that's probably true.
And
I
it's
haven't
like-
heard that, but that one to me sounds true. Do you see the difference between that one and a man was abducted and grew a beard? Can you see the difference in
Yeah, but
why I
they're
accept that story?
Different stories for different things.
Different stories for different things. So, see, that's a nice story. If it's true, I don't know if it's true. I mean, but it seems totally possible, viable, quite interesting. I won't be quoting that myself until I've verified it. But that's, you know, I won't be telling anyone the bloke got in the car and he had a full-faced beard. Why has his car been towed away?
Because it was a quiet road.
Was it?
Wasn't in the way. So.
Are you filling in the blanks again? That wasn't in the book, was it, that you read? See, this is the thing, sometimes I think you make up bits of the story as though they were fact. That doesn't seem right.
Well, that's all you can do, innit? So that's educating Ricky. Will we
Brilliant.
do that next week?
That is brilliant.
No, I think
Carl.
that was good. I did, I mean, I enjoyed that. I learned something from that.
I mean, well, just, I want to get I mean, this is all from one book, is it?
Yeah.
That's an interesting book.
With the, I don't want to dwell on it, but with the hairy Chinese kid, what did they say about that? What was the, I mean, was it, once there was born a kid who was slightly more hairy than everyone else? But yeah, it's alright, he only had a boil. Oh, how did they word it? How did this capture your imagination?
There was a
Well,
picture.
it was a picture that grabbed me, first of all.
Sure.
And it was like, God, what's up with him? And that's when I read it.
Did you see the boil in the eczema or just the hair?
No, you see, because his face is like, just under his eyes is sort of nice and smooth, and his nose is sticking out, and that's not hairy. But the rest of him, it looked like he had a sort of a balaclava on or something. And then I read on, and it's like, this is a hairy kid in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else in there? Because, I mean, I like
No,
that.
we'll do more of that next week.
How is that alongside, hanging bacon, alien abduction, a hairy Chinese kid, and, a little interesting fact about the derivation of a phrase?
What do you mean?
He didn't understand a word of that.
So, last week we started good sort of play on words that we had going.
Go on.
The well-known film Educating Rita.
Yeah. That's become, thanks to Karl Pilkington's brain, it's become...
I've tweaked it a bit, and now it's Educating Ricky.
Brilliant.
Right? And that was a new feature we started last week, if you weren't listening, where I teach Ricky stuff.
What did you teach me?
Taught you about that little Chinese hairy kid.
Yeah, you didn't teach me anything. You said there was a kid that was born that was slightly hairy than other
Taught
Chinese
you
people.
where the saying chewing the fat came from.
I enjoyed
That was good, that was interesting.
And,
And a man who had a beard because
And
he
a
was
man-
being abducted for 3 days. Again, that was rubbish.
Lest we forget.
That taught me more about you than about alien abduction.
but what happened last week is,
Go on.
we sort of talked about it all in one go. And you can't...
Whereas this week you've done what? You've spread it out over the show.
Well, I spread it across the 2 hours, because I always found that if you try to be taught too much in one go, you just can't take it in and it'll be wasted.
Is that your experience of school?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
taught you in 3-minute bursts. You might
yeah,
have learned
and not every day.
Yeah.
Every other
when
month.
you felt like it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're going to do, right?
So we've got Educating Ricky coming up. That's
Educating
exciting
Ricky across the 2 hours.
Okay, look forward to
and
that.
what I do is, I've made little headlines again, and you decide which story you want to go
All of
for
them.
first.
Well, give me the first
Yeah.
headline.
No, not yet. We'll do that in a
Well,
bit.
give me a teaser.
Hang on a minute, I'm telling you what else.
Right.
So,
Okay.
the way this works is,
What would you rather be, Carl?
I teach you
Superheroes.
3 things.
A frog boy, yeah,
Right.
that you could leap onto a house, but you had to go bleh, first and leap onto a house. You're this frog boy, right? And that could be useful, couldn't it?
That's very useful, yeah.
Right, amploid, where you've got your hands and microphones, and you can talk into your hand and your whole body. It's like 100 decibels. You can go, "Oi, come here," and people can hear you from miles away. Amploid, right, right. Or sado, right? And that means that you can go up to anyone and go, alright, and they don't know why, they just get fed up for the whole day.
Which of those would you prefer? Don't answer now, have a think about it. Have a think about it.
The frog thing, do I look like one, or...
No, it's just you in your little Ben Sherman shirt and everything, and they go, and people walk along and they go, oh, look at that young child from on that roof. He's gonna fall. I wish Frog Boy was here. And you go, blah, and you go down, you go, blah, and they go, here's him. And they don't recognise you when you're squatting. They go, I don't know who you are. And you leap up there and say, and you come back and they go, where's Frog Boy? And you're standing up and you go, don't know, he went that way.
Yeah, I'd probably have that one.
Would
Probably
you?
go with Frog Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Right, so, did that just go out?
What?
All that.
Go on, I've got a bad...
Hey, look, Rick, Carl's really planned this show. He's really worked out. He came in early, he was writing things down.
And there's me
planning
just
it,
coming up with rubbish
and
like
you were
that.
just talking rubbish. So, Carl, I know you've been
Right.
thinking this through. What have you got?
So, Educating Ricky, we did it last week. It's where I teach you some stuff, but rather than just teach you something, I tease you, so you want to know more, so you want to take in information, right? So,
if only people had taught you like that, Carl.
so,
And also, it's the name of a film, sort of.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Coming up soon, Henry VIII and his, well, how many wives? Come back tomorrow, Carl, to find out.
right, well, the little headlines I've got to sort of tease you with the story.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt me and I'm not very well. Go on.
Right, we've got,
So this is what, sorry, I've just got lost for a minute there.
It's Educating Ricky.
This is Educating Ricky,
Yeah.
and these are the stories that these are the things you're gonna tell him.
yeah,
But these are just headline versions.
these are headlines
This is not
because
the actual fact.
then I think people will remember things.
Okay, alright, so you,
do you know what I mean?
sort of bullet points.
Who can forget Hairy Chinese Boy?
Indeed, I shall never forget that.
Yeah.
So, first headline,
Ooh.
don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I've got no idea. It could be about the French Revolution, it could be about anything.
I know what it is!
No, you think you do, but...
No, it's what I taught you! Is it the fact that cockroaches can live for 9 days without a head?
That's part of it, but it's something different as well, that's why I thought we'd bring it up.
okay.
Okay, brilliant. So that's something to
Next one, you won't work it out, if only it was raining.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Go on.
And the last one, what's tomato with you?
What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
You're obsessed with puns, aren't you, at the moment, Kay?
It just works, I think it works.
Yeah. You love puns.
So, there you go.
So which of
Okay.
those are you gonna choose, right?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to choose. Don't do that, you know it can't live without an head. Carl, what's the story then?
Right, so what did you say you're going for? You've got your 3 titles, your 3 teasers.
Well, I think I'm gonna go for don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right.
Right.
So this is Educating Ricky, for those that
Yeah.
have just tuned in.
Now, something that Ricky told me about when he was educating me was that a cockroach, if you cut its head off, it lives for a week,
Yeah.
right?
And the
And
only
what
reason it dies is because it can't take on water.
Sure. It doesn't have a great time in that week, though, does it?
No.
I mean, it doesn't get much done, I don't imagine.
It just needs water, and because it can't find any, like its eyes, it eventually dies,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So what?
No, it's not, that's not, it's 'cause
Anyway.
you can't drink.
Anyway.
So have you heard that one about worms?
Okay.
I have, go on.
If you cut a worm in half,
Yeah.
a lot of people have said in the past that it'll turn into 2 worms.
Right.
But that isn't actually true.
Okay. Who said that?
No, it used to be like, you know,
Kids at school
they said it on, kids at school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, a lot of people think that.
Don't pick him up on stuff, Steve, it's bad enough.
Sure.
So, but what they can do, if you get a worm, right, and you find out which end its head's at,
Right.
if you you've got its head there at the left-hand side, right, and if you sort of cut it in half,
Right.
but not in half, so there's more of its neck than the tail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that you've cut off will sort of die, and the rest of the worm will get better. So in a way, you can cut it in half, and it'll survive, but only one half will survive.
Okay.
Yeah? What have you learnt there?
I wish you hadn't chosen that one. Rick, to be honest.
I know, because it's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
You know
I know what
that
information is.
joke, how would you tell a worm's head from its you put it in a bowl of flour and wait till it farts.
Yes.
Right? I told my mate that, right, and he went, what if it coughs?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, there is a bit of truth in that myth of cutting one in half.
Where did you get this information? I don't understand where you get this information
That was from the Fortean Times. It was like the myth about worms.
Yeah.
That was the big article that week.
Did it take you as long to read that article as it took you to tell us just then?
I like the fact that it starts off debunking a myth
Yeah.
that we hadn't heard of anyway.
Exactly.
You know the big thing about cutting a worm in half and making 2 worms?
No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's the
I mean,
other
it's not
headline?
the thing to do either, by the way. Don't go doing it.
No.
Cool.
It's not very nice.
But,
It's cruel.
but it can get by
And
if
it's
you do.
pointless.
Yeah.
There's no scientific worth
Yeah.
in that.
Well, there you go.
Okay then.
So the others now, you
What
see
was the
what I
others?
do. No,
What
I
was the
tell you
others?
the other titles. You're not having them yet. That's the whole idea of this. People will be driving or about to go out doing the shopping. They'll think about that now.
What was the other 2?
Well, the other 2.
They won't think about that. They've forgotten
No,
that.
they will. They will.
No, they've forgotten that already.
If only it was raining. And what's tomato with you?
Right,
That-
you've
I'm
gotta
looking
tell
forward
us-
to that one.
No, you've got to tell me tomato with you.
Look what's happening. You see, you already want more of education, and this is what listeners will be doing.
I tell you, I wish you were a teacher. I so wish you were a teacher.
Do you know what I mean? Kids would be saying, I know it's 3:30, but I don't want to go home, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm teaching you.
Why are
taking
you
in
teaching
information.
me things about not to cut worms in half and what's tomato with you? Please tell me what's tomato with you, Carl.
In a bit,
No.
in a bit.
Rick,
What?
I tell you, he's thought the show through. He's
Yeah.
teasing the audience. You're excited. They're listening.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's Educating Ricky Part 2.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I wasn't even listening. He's doing all the work, I wasn't even listening. Oh, and he spilled some water down that. Right, what's this one again then?
Right,
What's the teaser headline?
teaser headline is, what's tomato with you?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Go on
How excited were you when you came up with that? You couldn't wait to come in and tell us, could you?
I think it's a good one because you won't forget it now, will you? I mean, like the worm one. What's so special about the worm?
You know, a lot of people think that if you cut a worm in half, 2 worms will grow, but no. What happens is if you cut the head end slightly nearer the tail than the tail will die, but the worm with the head will be okay. So, it's exploded a myth, and taught me something.
Right, so, the second one, part 2 of Educating Ricky. What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
What this one's about is, ages ago,
This is scientific.
there's never a date. There's never a country, a location.
Okay, settle down, children. This is A-level history. Right.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. When a mental place with swords was a king, forget his name, but he was a loony. So, and it was literally ages ago.
Yeah.
So, good luck in the exam. Yeah.
right? So, like, you know, alright, many years ago,
Oh, yes. Yeah, cleared that up. Go on.
they thought tomatoes were poisonous. Right?
Okay.
Because what they
Hold
were
on, are they going to be proved wrong at the end of this story?
well,
Because
what,
I don't want to give away the ending, but is it something to do with the... are they poisonous tomatoes?
no.
Oh, you're having a laugh.
I don't believe it.
But,
Go on,
but
go
what,
on.
They could have been eating tomatoes all this time.
Oh, Steve, what's the matter with you anyway?
Okay, so hang on a minute.
what's
Let's
the
just
matter with
recap quickly. Many years ago,
Yeah.
when people thought tomatoes were poisonous.
yeah.
Go on, yeah.
Well, they didn't know they were poisonous then, because they were still eating them. But what was happening
Well, they're not.
was-
But they're not poisonous.
but hang on a minute.
Alright, let's not. I'm just gonna listen. I'm not even
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
talk.
no, okay, I'm not going to tackle
So,
anymore.
if you remember, years ago, they didn't have, like, pottery plates. they had lead plates, right?
What are you talking?
Just let him talk.
Sorry, what year is this?
Let him talk.
Come on.
Plates made out of lead, and
Right.
what they'd end up doing, they'd say, right, do you want a tomato? And they'd go, yeah, alright. And they'd put the tomato on the lead plate and cut it. And because of the acid in the tomato, right, it would sort of make the lead runny, and the lead would go into the tomato, and they'd say, oh, it's lovely this, and they'd be eating it. They'd get food poisoning, lead poisoning, what have you, and they'd be really ill. So they thought tomatoes were poisonous, so they didn't eat them for many years.
And when
then
you say
someone
they,
said,
do you
this
mean
didn't
the people
happen.
of Narnia?
Yeah, this didn't happen,
Where was
Carl.
this happening?
Sort of in Britain and that.
You put him on the spot there. Oh, I hope there's no uppity pupils at this school when they go, what do you mean, sir? Oh, if you're gonna... Oh, I'm fed up with you.
Do you understand?
No.
So the
No, you've got... No, right, okay, first of all, Carl, where'd you get this information from?
Where did
14
they get
times
that?
as well?
Do you know,
You can't remember.
I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I got it from. But But why don't you think that makes sense?
But, what? Someone once got lead poisoning from a tomato?
Not just one, loads, and then all of a sudden... No.
Why is this educating me?
Because I'm telling you that tomatoes, you
I can't take anything away from this. I don't know what to take away from this. What have I learned? What have I learned? Don't mix lead with tomatoes. Why is this educational in any shape or form? What are you telling me? A long time ago in the land of Glunk, right, where the ninnies did slib, right, they thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate plates of lead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we all know tomatoes aren't poisonous.
Is that what we're taking from the story?
Is that the moral of the story? Don't believe these people that I'd never heard of before. What are you talking about, Karl?
I think it's a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
These the same people that were spreading those malicious worm rumours.
My hangover's coming back. I've got to get some water.
We've got,
Go on.
educating Ricky, where teachers stuff.
Because you taught me that people used to eat tomatoes off lead plates in the land of Narnia last week, which was good. Yeah.
No,
is it only tomatoes they ate off the lead plates, by the way? Why didn't they think other fruits and vegetables were poisonous?
No, it wasn't. It was because tomatoes had acid in them. That was the problem. You see, you don't listen, right?
Well, lots of fruits have acid in them.
Yeah, but they didn't eat them back then. they didn't have bloody kiwi fruit and stuff.
Don't say bloody. You're a producer. You'll start saying shit and cock and stuff. You start saying bloody
tits.
Right. So,
what is this? What are you doing now?
This is educating Ricky. Right?
Oh, good. I'm going to look forward to this.
Yeah, 3 topics that I teach you every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, I should just remind people, you normally summarise each of these in a kind of bullet point heading, which you tease us with. So what have you reduced them to this week? Right,
we've got Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Stocking, Aitken and Waterman. Good.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've also got, what else is it? It's not his vault. Yeah?
It's not what?
It's not his vault.
Okay.
Yeah? And we've also got Get a Lobe of This.
Get a lobe of this?
Yeah.
Karl, they're genius.
Before we do educating, Ricky, this is where Karl thinks he can give me something of interest and teach me something to take away. Last week I found out that, somewhere in a strange land, people thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate them with lead. Things like that. What was the other one you told me?
What else was it last week? Bit of worms. Cut me off.
Yeah. Oh, I sent him a text message. I was on the train, a bit bored, and I read in, I think it was Metro, scientists have found out that worms get stressed, and they found out that the fat ones didn't live as long, and when they checked the thin ones that lived longer, they found out they had a gene for de-stressing them. Right, Karl, do you remember what you said?
No.
He went, well, that's stupid, isn't it? He said, did these other ones die of natural causes? I went, yeah. He went, alright, because it could be that the fat ones couldn't get off the pavement quick enough and got squashed. So maybe the scientists go, yeah, we didn't... yeah, they come to think of it, they were flat as well as fat.
I think the reason that the worms are getting stressed is because people like Karl are cutting them in half to try and make 2 snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two worms.
Well,
yeah.
Well.
That's the concern.
he said they can't even commit suicide if they're stressed by cutting their throat. I also sent what I thought was quite interesting, that the scientists have found that the elephant hasn't got the best memory. The sea lion has, based on they've got a sea lion and they got it back into the old laboratory. 10 years after it taught it a simple trick, and it could still do the trick. What did you say to that, Karl?
I'd say they don't go up to much anyway, so if you do teach it something, it is going to remember it.
Sure.
Because it's got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And then it also, I mean, I like sea lions, they look nice and everything, but what do they do?
What was that? Sea lions?
Yeah, what are they here for? It's another jellyfish, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, it's there and people know about them, but what do they do?
Yeah. What do we do?
What do we do, Karl?
Well,
what do we do?
A cat, first, Steve said, is good for your heart. So
why is it all geared to what's good for us?
Well. Anyway.
Educating Ricky.
Good, we've settled that then. Go on.
The titles that are meant to sort of pull you in.
Yeah.
We've got, what was it? Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah.
You've got, it's not his vault. And, Get a load with this.
Get a load of this. So, which pun do I pick first? I think I'll go for, get a lobe of this.
Get a lobe of this.
Yeah, get a lobe of this, yeah.
Well, that's a story about a girl who, she was deaf. right, for 4 years. And, it happened quite a bit back, this.
What year? Or was it,
I think it was
ages ago, was it?
Yeah, quite a bit back. She was deaf for about 4 years. Having an argument with a mum, it said, which I didn't quite understand. Because I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But she was having an argument, and a man pushed her against the wall, and she banged her head, and her hearing came back.
Okay.
Was she wearing a Walkman, and it fell out? And she'd realised,
There's no explanation.
There's no explanation? Well, why is that teaching me something then?
Right, so I knew you'd say this, right? So I thought, right, I'll stick something on it. Do you know that bees are deaf?
No! No, you can't just, no! If you ask someone something they don't know the answer to, they don't tell you something else. I'll tell you something else then. I can't answer that, I'll tell you something else. Imagine that, if you asked a teacher. Look, how do birds fly? Wow, if you're gonna do that, tallest building is, I mean, what?
Well,
that was the equivalent, Karl, of running away when we asked you a question.
Yeah, the intellectual equivalent of going, look over there, there's a monster.
Yeah.
Listen. What do you mean? Okay, so...
So her hearing
There's no
came back.
explanation. There's no explanation. Or you don't know.
well, there isn't one, is there, really? It's a bit
What,
weird.
did
thing
the doctors not look into it?
No, I think they just said, oh, that's good.
But, so again, I don't. Where did this information? Is that if you read this on the net? Is that all they put on the net?
There was once a deaf woman who hit her head and she
and her
could hear.
hearing came back.
It was bizarre things about being deaf.
Was there three
I've got that book. Yeah, it's a good book. That
Was there three more pages you just couldn't be bothered to read on?
Yeah.
No, it was just a little bit, and it
Was there a little picture, a cartoon picture?
No pictures. I just
We're
read
going,
it.
ow,
Look,
ow,
if you
I
don't
can
want to
hear.
know, if you don't want to learn, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's not his fault. Let me have it's not his fault. You gotta save this. This has gotta teach me something. It'll be an interesting story.
Right, it's not his vault. This fella.
Yeah. What year? Ages ago?
Olden times?
I'd say in the 70s.
Okay.
Would you? Any evidence for that?
And,
Does he wear flares in the story?
Right,
Is that
this-
your reason?
no, it's a bit like Yori Geller, this fella, right? Where he's electric.
He's electric.
And, if he walks past the telly would fizz. If he walked past the radio, it all goes like that.
Ooh.
His hair stuck up all the time. And he'd be having a bath and everything would be alright, and then the power would sort of switch on in his body, and the electric in his body made him jump out of the bath. So...
What do you mean so? What is that so? What does that so mean? You've given us nothing. You've given us nothing.
You'd have to at least give us the scientific explanation.
Yeah.
Electric eels have 400 volts in them.
Oh, is this the running away again?
What was that one called?
Yeah, but
It's not his vault.
But there's a reason not his fault. It's not his fault. I thought it was going to be something about keeping it in a safe.
I think we should do these the other way round. I think you should tell us the story and then we'll hear the pun.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right, let's leave it.
Do the last one. Do the last one. Carl's saying we're never doing this again because we don't appreciate it. Yeah, Karl, you don't know how good this feature is, mate.
Right, last one.
Yeah.
Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Go on then, tell me about that one. What's that? What am I going to learn from this?
Right, well, do you know the saying, put a sock in it?
I like it already.
Do you know the saying?
Yeah.
Right, well, do you know where it comes from?
I assume it's shut up, so I'll stuff your mouth with a sock to shut you up.
Years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, am I right?
No, not really. Ages ago.
1970s?
50s,
Okay.
I'd say. Do you know the old,
I'd say.
do you know the old gramophone?
Yeah.
With the big horn on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, well, those stereos didn't have a volume control on them. Right? So they'd be listening
Oh,
to
so you
their
put a
album,
sock in the...
and you'd
mute.
put something like a sock.
That's a real one, you see. That's taught me something. That's good. That's excellent, Karl. That is the only one that counts, like chewing the fat, if they're true. I'm assuming they are. It works. It's of interest. I haven't got it verified yet, but that is educating Ricky. That's brilliant. I will say, the other two were more entertaining. So, you know, I don't...
Do you understand the distinction, though, between that one and Electrical Man?
And, or I've hit me head, I can hear you, mum.
Yeah. Can you see the difference, though? Or...
Are
all
really,
three...
because when I read all three, I took something away from all of them.
What did you take away from the Electrical Man?
I just thought, oh, imagine that. Imagine how annoying that would be.
But but that's
Yeah.
not education, is
And
it
it's
really?
not taking anything
No, but
away.
Think about it, right? We take our lives for granted all the time, don't you? You get up in the morning, it's like, oh, I'll get up and walk for a shower. Some people can't walk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, he can't even have you know what I mean? It's nice to have a bath, isn't it, when you've got time on your hands and
Yeah.
you can relax. This guy can't even do that. He might be alright for a bit, but he's not really enjoying it, because at any moment, it could strike.
Yeah.
So, he can't even do that. He can't comb his hair, because it keeps going a mess.
Yeah.
He can't watch his
Nor can
favourite-
you.
No, he can't.
Does he fight crime? What does he do with his powers?
Yeah.
I think he just has to sit around, because he can't work with machinery,
Right.
because he'll probably blow a fuse.
Yeah, so he just sits around.
Think about it, what can he do? What normal things can he do?
Skateboarding.
Going for long walks.
Yeah,
Put a wetsuit on.
well, he couldn't do that.
Why?
Ooh, water and electric.
No, wetsuits aren't actually wet. They're dry initially.
Just put a whole wetsuit on and walk round with flippers and
A
rub the
wetsuit's
sole.
not like a dinner jacket that's like really wet.
Well,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is think, do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And what was the
And
other one
the
again?
girl, the girl deaf for 4 years hits her head.
Yeah. That's just,
What have you learned from that?
What is that?
Well, imagine how happy you'd be. Remember that time when I nearly died? When I choked on a Mr. Freeze Pop? Right?
No, tell us that one again.
No, I told you, didn't I?
Tell us again.
Yeah, but the people will remember it, and then it's...
They weren't listening. Go on. What happened?
It was ages ago when my mum and dad used to go out shopping on a Friday.
1970s?
Get the food in. get a week's load of food in the cupboard and that, and we'd, you know, they'd come in with all the food, and we'd all be like, oh god, you know, there's no food left on a Thursday really, so we'd all be hungry on the Friday by the time the food got in.
I love that!
And
That
I'd
they
be
wouldn't
like-
eat it. I imagine him like jackal puppies.
Yeah.
Just like licking your parents' mouth for food as they
So-
come through the door.
So they come in from the supermarket, they're emptying the box. Our kid had got some biscuits and what have you.
Frenzy, just a feeding frenzy, like pigeons.
I grabbed the Mr. Freeze Pop and knocked it back really quick, but it wasn't frozen, so I knocked it back so it was like a liquid, and it went down the wrong way, right, and I was choking, right, and I nearly died. It must have been about, how long can you go before you die?
A couple of minutes to do
Right,
it.
I reckon about a minute 50. Right, I was really close to dying.
How do you know you were close to dying? Did your life flash before you?
No, but I just was like,
There's loads of instances of him eating pops.
Yeah, exactly.
I just was dead.
40 of those.
whatever, right?
What do
anyway.
you think you'd see if your life flashed past you? What do you think, which elements would stand out for you, do you think?
What?
Start
Now, go back. Zoom, what do you remember? What's the first thing you remember?
as a kid.
Yeah, just anything
Right,
now.
being in the hall and having our dog licking my face.
That's your earliest memory?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Right, next one's probably being at primary school with Lindsay.
Yeah.
Was that your girlfriend?
Well, a little friend who was a girl.
Sure.
And we used to have like tins with letters in, and you'd have to write stuff. But anyway, what are we doing?
I got confused.
Right, so anyway,
I'm intrigued by the dog
Right.
that was licking your face.
well, bin that.
We won't win that.
no, it's a great feature. I just think you need to be a little bit more careful about what you consider to be education.
Gone
Alright,
funny. I
alright.
fell over.
Alright, well, I'll...
We'll work on it next week. Play a tune, and what have you got for us? Because we've got a big competition.
We've
Come
got to
on!
do the competition. We've only got 25
Yeah, well, come on
Don't
then,
worry
quick
about
then.
it, Carl.
Do
Play a
something,
tune.
play
We'll
a
come back
tune.
with Rockbusters.
We've also got Educating Ricky, where Karl educates me.
you.
The one last week, a girl, right? She was deaf, and she was had an argument with her mum, and she pushed her and she hit her head, and then she can hear again.
Yeah.
Don't know what I learnt from that.
No.
but it might be subliminal. Someone might be going. It might be a metaphor that I will learn from.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
a
I might-
parable.
Yeah. So look at his face. We
So,
might as well be talking Dutch, mightn't we, Karl? Say something quick. It's radio.
I don't understand what you want from me.
Oh, we're only joking.
Right, so... Educating Ricky, I've worked a bit harder this week. We've got some good stuff.
Okay.
I'll give you the
teaser headlines
the
later.
headlines in a bit.
Yeah. Death in Vegas. Scorpio Rising.
Featuring the voice of, is it Noel Gallagher?
Liam, innit?
Is it Liam?
Sounded a bit like him.
Liam here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, innit?
Excellent, yeah. Right, okay, let's get this show well and truly on the road. We better start, educating Ricky next, Carl? What have you got for me? I can't wait for learning. I need learning. I need education.
We should just
Teach
explain,
me something.
obviously, for those that have just tuned in, Karl, tries to teach Ricky 3 things each week.
Based on the pun title,
And yeah,
educating Rita.
each of them, just to tantalise Ricky, is, abbreviated into some kind of headline.
A cryptic clue involving a pun.
So what have you got for us this week?
They are really cryptic this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
First story, little headline, is, don't worry about him, he candle it.
He candle it.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like he can handle it, but it's not. Brilliant.
Second one.
Get a lobe of
I'm
Get a lobe of this.
Some classics. Who can forget? Get a lobe of this.
Yeah. Coming soon.
And Stocking Aitken Waterman. Go on.
Second one.
Yeah.
I'm committed to this treatment.
I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Alright, tantalising.
Yeah. And the last one, the police are causing a bit of a stare.
The way he looks when he says it. I wish we could see. Can't we get Karl on telly?
There's got to be a way.
We cannot. With all the cable channels, anyone can get on telly these days. Let's
Right,
let's phone up. Let's get you on Choice or something. Just a little, just Karl.
What are you going for?
Oh, he can handle it, I think.
Don't worry about him, he candle it.
He candle it.
Sorry,
Okay,
yeah.
let's hear this one.
Right, are you familiar with the phrase, burning the candle at both ends?
Yeah.
Do you know how it's come about?
I know a man
Well,
who does.
I assumed that it was to get more light in the room.
How would that work?
Well, they'd put it sideways and light both wicks, so out of one candle they could get
No.
two. No, go on.
No, what it is...
I know what
is,
it means. It means you're doing too much. You're staying up too much.
Right.
You're not getting enough sleep, and you're
Well, years ago,
yeah.
when they didn't have light bulbs and that.
Oh yeah. What year is this? Literally ages ago, specifically.
Yeah, quite a bit back.
Okay.
Didn't have light bulbs and that, so they used to have candles
When
in
did the light bulb come in? Because I can't remember at the moment.
don't know.
Okay, go on.
So, yeah, so they've got a light bulb.
You're not. You wouldn't know. You're a doctor. You're not a historian. Go on.
And people who worked a lot of hours, yeah,
How many? Literally lots.
they get up early in the morning because they have to be up early,
Yeah,
and it's dark outside, so they light the candle,
sure.
and they'd wear it out a bit, and then they'd be getting in late as well,
Yeah.
and like, they'd be like, oh, it's dark, I'll have to light the candle again, and they're burning candle at both ends of the day. So that's where the saying comes from, burning the candle at both ends. So,
Alright.
that's a little lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson one.
Okay. Can I have?
No, you can't have
You
another
can't
one
rush
yet.
into them, Rick. You've got to.
I've got to soak
you've
in
got,
that.
You've got to soak that one in. Any questions for Karl off the back of that?
What do you think?
So people were. I mean, basically, where this comes from is people were
They're literally burning the candle at both ends of the day.
Sure.
There you go. So we've still got,
Go on.
I'm committed to this treatment, and
I can't wait. This is like Christmas
Rick, I
Eve for
should
me.
just say-
It's like Christmas. I've got to open another present now. I'm excited, Karl. I'm going to learn so much from this. What's the choices again? What
Right, you've got left.
Still keep phoning your answers to
Email.
Email. Sorry, yeah.
The answers to Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Educating Ricky, part 2.
Right. I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
one.
I've got to go for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the other one is the police are causing a bit of a stare.
He still says it like it's the best thing he's ever come up with, which in a way it is.
It could be. Right. Go on then. I'm committed to this treatment.
Right. Do you know the saying?
Is it just sayings now? Are they all sayings this week?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, the other one isn't. Frog in your throat.
The saying, there's a frog in your throat?
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
assume it's when you croak a little bit. You sound like a frog.
No. Right. Might seem a bit weird, this one, right? But years ago,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what is that clue? Committed to this treatment?
it's about frogs kermitted.
Probably works better with a K and an ER written down.
Well, also, if you'd pronounced it kermitted,
yeah.
but not committed.
Committed to this treatment! Right, go on then.
That's
Right,
genius.
So yeah.
Well, what?
you go to the doctors and you go, my throat's hurting a bit.
Right.
And what they did ages ago.
Ages ago? What year was this approximately?
We are going back quite a bit with this one.
Oh, okay, go on.
And the doctor would say,
He got in history. Imagine years ago. Go on.
and the doctor would say, right, keep your mouth open, I need to look at your tonsils. And the jaw would ache a bit, because they weren't as quick back then, because they didn't have the technology and stuff, and they'd have to, like, stare at it and study it and stuff. And, like, they get an achy jaw, right?
Keeping their mouth open.
Yeah, like, you get, you know,
Yeah.
when you eat a Mars bar or whatever, it's a bit, So, they'd sat there, and they used to always close their mouth, and it used to annoy the doctor, right?
Sure.
So what they did, they used to get a toad,
Right.
and put it in the mouth,
Rubbish.
Okay, keep talking. Keep talking.
and that way they couldn't close the mouth, because either they'd squash it,
Right.
or apparently you're not allowed to lick a toad's back.
So the doctor would have them for breaking the law?
No, but it's poisonous, right? A toad's back. You should never lick a toad's back.
Or put it in your mouth, really.
Oh, just stop for a second.
Wait. What?
Can I just ask one question?
Go on,
Can I
yeah,
just
go
ask
on.
one question?
I've got a few, but
no,
go on.
Sure. My initial thought is, it sounds like a brilliant bit of sort of medical knowledge there. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
My only thought is, how does the doctor see past the toad at your tonsils?
What's he actually looking at with the mouth open? Surely the toad is
Isn't
in
it
the
like
way.
hopping around in the way?
It didn't say.
Sorry, and my first question is, was this on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Karl, that is bollocks. That is, I mean,
Well, alright then. Let's turn this round. Where does the saying, you got a frog in your throat come from?
probably because you sound a bit croaky. Probably that. Probably because you sound a little bit like a frog when you've got a sore throat.
Karl, did you not question it just for a moment when you read it? Just for a second, didn't you think, that seems an odd approach? Firstly, why a frog, of all the different
Because
species?
it's poisonous. A toad.
So a toad, so it's a toad as well?
Yeah, well, it worked. I'm committed. Worked.
No, not that.
no,
It's the
my
frog
point
in
is
your
it's
throat.
frog in the throat.
I was gonna change it to, have you heard the news Toad Day? But I went with the frog.
Oh God!
Right, so
that's
think about
rubbish.
it.
So that's rubbish. Next, can I have,
Let's play a tune, let's come up with the last one.
Open wide. Oh dear, that's interesting. Oh, here, doctor. Look, you've actually got a frog in your throat. I didn't get there. I put it in there. That's the most ludicrous story I've ever heard, Karl. Why don't you think when you read these things?
I think there's always going to be a bit of truth in all of these. I mean, that fella called up, didn't he, and said, I'm not sure about the, putting a frog in your throat if you got, problems with your tonsils or whatever. But he said, years ago, if someone had toothache, they'd get hold of a frog and strap it to the face.
Yeah, sure.
So, maybe, down the line, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't do it for long.
I think Caligula made his emperor, a horse and emperor as well, but I mean, it doesn't... Go on.
Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think, so he's obviously...
We've turned him round,
well,
he loves it now,
he's been tuning in, he says,
loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So, we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase counting my feet comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, and I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from, Karl.
Well, what about the frog thing with a poisonous back?
It's rubbish.
That's true. No, the toads have, the secretions in there.
Why?
But they didn't put it in people's mouths.
No, so, well, I'll tell you why. When a badger or a heron tastes the toad, it's horrible. Ugh. The toad might die, but it's for the good of the species, because then, think how many toads, looking like that, a heron could eat in its lifetime. So, the fact that one toad is sacrificed, have all those other toads in that heron's manner will be safe.
Why? I mean, we've talked about animals a lot on the show, right?
Yeah.
And when God made a toad...
Sure.
Right, okay, well, I'm gonna stop you there, straight away.
Don't. Just let him carry on.
Right.
Okay.
Like, there's annoying things out there, jellyfish is a big problem with me. I don't understand what they do in the sea and stuff.
Right.
Right, but we'll leave them.
God's
right?
a problem for me, but go on.
We won't talk about jellyfish.
No.
With the toad, right, if it's to protect itself...
Yeah.
Right, now
no,
say...
it's not to protect itself, it's to protect its species.
Yeah, but that, surely, right, if the toad had a choice. If God said, right, what I'm gonna do for you here, you can have something like a lobster's got claws, big claws to have a fight. Or, I can give you something that if someone's having a go at you, you've got to try and persuade them to lick you back. As a defence.
Yeah.
What use is, right,
Oh, God's...
Well, I'll tell you why.
What is God
The
up
fact
to?
that there are still toads around is a testament to that defence working. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? If the toad had died out, you'd have a point. But they're still around. It works, alright?
And don't start slagging God off. He's got a lot on his plate. Basically, I think he took on too much.
Particularly in 1 week.
Exactly.
Carl's getting all flustered because I put an elastic band around his head. And we've had a definition of,
Well, hang on a
frog
sec,
in the throat.
because there's an update to that, Rick.
Go on.
We did just have, one, definition here of, a frog in the throat. Apparently this has come from some, internet site, so who knows, how convincing it is, but it says frog in the throat, meaning suffering from temporary hoarseness, needing to clear the throat. Origin from the Old English frogger, meaning hoarseness. That's from Chris. Now, that sounds slightly suspect to me.
Why?
But, frogger? I mean, it seems odd that it would derive from that when it so clearly appears to be you sound like a frog when you have a sore throat.
Yeah, but the word frog could come from Frogger, because it sounds like it's
I didn't know, wasn't Frogger a game you could play on the, on the Spectrum?
Spectrum,
That's a great
yeah.
game. But listen, hang on, there's an update to that, because, just to
common frog, of course, Rana temporara, that's the Latin name.
Well,
your toad is Buffo Buffo.
You may be trying to show off, but I think you're about to embarrass yourself as well,
on.
because you've been slagging off young Karl.
Yeah.
It says here, another email, it doesn't tell us who it's from. Although it's hard to believe now, at one time, medieval physicians believed that the secretions of a frog could cure a cough if they were coated on the throat of the patient. That in itself sounds repulsive, but what makes the idea even worse is the application of the secretions. Instead of painting the treatment on, something which may also have seemed rational, a live frog was placed into the mouth of the sufferer, where it remained until the physician decided that the treatment was complete.
Right.
Apparently Shakespeare's son-in-law, that's a question mark, I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's no wonder that today a froggy or croaky attempt at speech is said to be a frog in your throat. So, you can see that what's happened there is Karl's misread, or been slightly misinformed about, a medieval practice. In a sense, you're both winners, just for taking part. What's your final one, Karl?
Right, the final story is, the police are causing a bit of a stir.
I can't wait.
It's about this fella, I think it's in England somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know when it happened, but,
Literally ages ago, or?
well, I think it's when they were trying to crack down on, like, drunken people walking about in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they found this
Saturday.
fella.
It's Saturday, that one.
And, found this fella, and, all the local people were saying, oh, look at him wandering around, he's drunk and what have you. That's not right, get the police in. He got arrested and that, and they got him in the court. And, the judge was there, and he says, so, you know, what's all this? What's going on? What are you doing wandering about when you've had a drink? You know the rules. You shouldn't be doing that. You had a glazed expression on your face. Blah, blah, blah. What do you have to say for yourself? He only had a glass eye.
So you have two glass eyes?
No, he had one. But that was, they were about to sort of lock him up.
Was he a bit pissed up as well?
Well, he was pretty livid.
But was he also drunk with a glass eye?
No, that's the weird thing. He wasn't even, he hadn't even had a drink.
So they just thought, because he had a weird stare.
Because his eyes were all glazed.
Yeah. Where'd you get this from? Why are you telling me this? No, but why are you telling me this? I mean, thank you, because it's, you know, killed a couple of minutes, but why is this educating me? What are you telling me here?
Because there's a bit of a thing there, a bit of a fable, that don't always judge a book by its cover. Yeah? So, the guy, he hadn't even had a drink. He'd probably just been shopping.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and everyone's, like, getting involved. Like, what's he doing?
Hang on, I don't understand. He's walking down the street, happens to have a glass eye. He was doing nothing else to suggest he was drunk. You don't pick people up just because their eye looks like that.
But even if it happened, why are you telling me? With no particular detail. I know this, but then we're gonna get
There's not enough information.
I know, yeah.
No, there's a bit of a lesson there, educating Ricky. Just, you know, just watch what you say. Don't always jump to conclusions.
The only education I can take from that is that, if I ever do become a policeman, I shouldn't just arrest people because they look a bit drunk. I should just tap their eye with a pen and goes, oh, okay, on you go.
Well,
on you go, yeah.
Guys, can I just stop you there? I'm just gonna email Richard Anderson and tell him I agree.
Come on.
Right, educating Ricky.
This is my favourite bit now.
You're just gonna tease us, aren't you, with 3 headlines, if you
And
like.
I'll choose one, then we got the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's the way it works, and at the end of it, you learn some stuff. Like I say, I'm struggling a bit with knowledge.
Yeah.
At last he confesses.
Yeah, go on.
So the 3 headlines for you to pick from, we've got, first one, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
I got a feeling there's some vegetables involved.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe. Second one, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
Alright?
Right.
And, third one, I'll bacon in the morning, if you're sick of having me here.
Oh, that one.
I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me here.
Right, I'm having that one.
That's brilliant.
Right, well, it's a saying. Do you know, cold shoulder? Giving someone the cold shoulder?
Yeah.
Alright, if you have someone round at your house, and, you know, you try to get rid of them, and they're hanging around and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd go, I'm tired and that. Well, years ago,
When? Literally years ago. Well, ages ago.
sort of,
Olden times.
I think it said medieval times.
Yonks ago then, yonks ago.
Medieval, yeah.
We're going back quite a bit on this
Well,
one.
you know when you find out these books, why don't you just pop down when it was?
Just make a note.
I don't think it says all the time, it just sort of says, you know, a few years back.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Never.
Alright, I'll make an effort next week.
Okay.
Right? So, it's annoying that, because my girlfriend said to me, just make a note of the time and they'll stop having a go at you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I kind of thought, oh, it's alright.
Didn't listen.
I don't think it matters anyway in this one. We're looking at the saying, right? So
Yeah.
it's giving someone a cold shoulder, right? And what it is, right? Ages ago, there wasn't enough houses for people.
Right.
Because there wasn't much money being made. You know, there weren't big businesses. People weren't earning good money like they are now. So there wasn't as many houses, right? So what you ended up getting is like, you know, the rich people having a nice place to live.
Oh.
And the poor people were like wandering about, you know, looking for places to live and that. And what they ended up doing is, they had like, people would go round to the mate's house and say, look, I haven't got anywhere to live. It's a bit cold. Can you let me stay? Right? So they'd go, oh, alright, then you can stay a couple of days. But they ended up staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So, to sort of get rid of them, what they'd end up doing, they'd be making the dinner, and they'd, be making a lovely dinner, like, bit of meat, nice warm meat, and, nice veg, gravy, and
This happened every time, did it?
No.
This is where the saying came from.
This is what happened, Rick.
This is
what happened.
happened every time.
It was in that vague book.
the book of vague sayings and stuff.
Right, so yeah, so they'd be making a nice meal, but what they did, they looked after all the family, but the person who won't go home, they just give them some, like, sort of a cut-off of cold meat.
Right.
So they'd say, you're giving them the cold shoulder. Meaning...
Right. Okay, that's rubbish. Okay, absolute.
Carl, why does that necessarily work?
Yeah. Why do they always, in every situation when you want to get rid of a lodger, well, still feed him every day, but make the meat lukewarm. So
they always leave then.
Yeah.
Oh, this food's lukewarm. I'm gonna become homeless
and they
again,
go,
wandering the
hold
streets.
on, are you giving me the cold shoulder? Yes. Do you want me to leave? Yes, just say leaving. No, I like to do it cryptically. That way, in years to come, someone will have a little saying about it.
Well, yeah, that was our bacon in the morning.
Yeah.
If you've had enough of meat, we'll leave that.
Well,
Bacon in the morning! Oh, bacon in the morning if you've had enough of me!
so come back. What are the others? Just tease us again with the others. We'll come back to those.
You've got, he's a bit of a nuisance, and, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Nice, looking forward to that.
Look at the way when I went to school, there was 2 kids with them big heads. Now,
You don't
never see them.
Sure.
Yeah, but no one else saw them anyway, Carl. It was only you that saw 2 of them, not related, and wouldn't hang around with each other, because you think they thought it would be too obvious. Webbed fingers and big heads. That's amazing.
And there was a kid with a pigeon chest, so...
Oh yeah, and the lady with the head like a bag of spuds.
Let's not
yeah,
go through
don't
these
wanna
again.
go
It just
through that.
raises too many questions that can't be answered.
Yeah.
Right then, so, we've got, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
Is that the one you want?
Let's
Yeah.
go for it.
Right, I think this was like round the 1700s.
Bluffing.
And
Just bluffing.
Who was the king then?
dunno.
Go on.
But it's about the word bonfire. right?
Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Do you know where it comes from?
No, go on.
No.
Right, what happened is it's got nothing to do with Guy Fawkes and that, which is what I thought when I saw it. It's got nothing to do with that. But ages ago, at 1700s,
Yeah.
right, didn't have enough houses, like I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if that happens, you get people living on the streets, you get
Sure.
diseases, people aren't cleaning properly, so you get more deaths. Alright?
Yeah.
So, think about it, you've got all these dead bodies lying around. They're running out of space, because there's, like, I don't know why they're running out of space, but
Okay.
they haven't got much, I don't know why, really. I was gonna say they should have just buried them, but there's probably more land back then than now. Think about it.
He doesn't need anyone else in the room to have a
conversation with himself.
Yeah, we could leave and we'd come back and he'd go, I've sorted it. Yeah,
But anyway, for some reason,
They presumably, if it's going to be they burnt them, it's presumably to do that it also kills the parasite or whatever's carrying the parasite on them, as opposed to burying them and not killing the disease.
well, yeah. So there you go. You've worked it out. They piled them up and they turned it into a celebration because there was a lot of fed up people at that time.
Is this to be the word bon, meaning good?
No. I'll tell you in a minute.
Go on.
So you've got all these people who are like going around and like, oh, you know, so and so died the other day, and you know, nearly every week someone they knew was dying.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like just constant like being depressed. So and they've got all these bodies lying everywhere. It's like, oh god, what are we gonna do? So they said, we're all too fed up at the moment. Said let's make this a better world.
This was 1701 by the time they got together.
Yeah.
So they said, what we need to do is have a big party. So they said, yeah.
Good thinking.
See what you're thinking. So they go, right, well, we'll put all the bodies
Yeah.
in a big pile, and they're all diseased and that. So
Yeah.
they set fire to the bodies,
Yeah.
and they said, let's have this as a celebration to remember them by, and you know, we'll have a drink and that, and have a chat. We'll have this big fire going, and it came from bone fire.
Ah.
Right.
So
Bone
it was
fire.
it was all the bones. Bonfire is bone fire.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's how it came about.
Yeah. In the 1700s.
Yeah.
That was.
No, probably.
Okay.
I reckon it was 1600.
Probably earlier.
I reckon it was the plague. I reckon it came from.
But interesting stuff. Interesting.
Yeah. So
stuff.
that's
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish.
Yeah,
fireworks.
I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even
No.
as a kid, you know, you'd have to go to like sort of community kind of gatherings with the bonfire and fireworks, and like,
Yeah.
some local vicar or whatever would come out and.
But I
it
also
was
think the
just
adults think the
tedious.
kids love it,
Yeah.
and if they just got together and said, "Should we go this year?" They'd all go, "No,
Yeah,
let's not
absolutely.
go. Let's not go this
Yeah.
year."
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket,
Yeah.
climbed in, gone last one to the moon is a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a fireworks display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
dear.
yeah.
Is
That's
that your feeling,
excellent.
Karl?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. It's genius.
We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Karl? Anyone?
Ricky, educating Ricky, that's the final one. We've got to get that out of the way.
We got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
do that at the end, we can
Go on then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do educating Ricky.
Right.
God.
The last one that we haven't done
Right.
is he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, like, again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things, like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him, it played havoc with his belly, and
What?
he followed through, and he had to clean up. with
Shut
using-
himself?
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed? In what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right? You gotta
Right.
give it to him, he's an actor and that, but he gave that a go,
Yeah.
right? He played,
What's
you
the
know,
point of that? You'd say, wouldn't you?
you'd say, God, he's, you know... He's
Oh,
good.
so he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself
Yeah, he did
is,
that.
is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna, like, go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, but what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Once you've been.
Well, it has. They've probably
well.
cleared it up by now. Like, but, it slip on it.
I can't even be bothered telling you this one, because...
Come on! Just do it, or do it now!
Steve, how we doing?
Look, no, never mind that. Look, just tell me what that means. Oh, he's a nuisance. Oh, this is so annoying, Carl. I'm gonna go mental.
Right,
talk!
Right, listen, I'm just putting this in here, right? Right, nuisance is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Apparently, the old fella who used to hang people...
1700s?
Yeah. He used to be able to tell somebody's weight just by looking at them. Right? That's a bit of a bonus fact.
We'll be the judge of that.
The thing that I wanted to tell you is, money for old rope, do you know what I'm saying? I can't even be bothered.
Yes, you're gonna tell me now. Come on, Carl.
Right,
I mean it.
Basically, money for old rope came from the... right.
What was all that about? He can tell someone's weight. What was that
bonus
for?
fact.
And blind blessed shitting himself. What are you... What? No, don't you... No, tell me that now. You nearly made me swear then. I'm getting really annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed now. Tell me this back, Carl, or I'm gonna go mental.
Come on, Carl, time's running out.
More that people, years ago, when people used to be hung, right?
Right.
If you didn't like the person who's been hung, you'd go, God, I really don't like him. And so you never forget the time.
Presumably if they're being hung, we take that as read.
Yeah. So they never forget, afterwards, they get the hangman to get the rope and to cut it up into little pieces, and he'd sell them. He'd sell the little pieces of rope to people.
See, Carl, that's the most interesting thing, if it's true, that you've come up with.
Right, okay. And so so they sell the rope?
They sell the rope, and it's money for old rope.
Money for old rope?
Meaning, like, you know, God, it's easy to make money, that all they have to do is cut it up and sell it.
Carl Pilkington in the chair now, the talked about, the acclaimed Educating Ricky.
Right, well, just in case anyone's new, doesn't normally listen, basically, I'm educating Ricky. Do a bit of research in a week, find stuff, news, history, anything that's interesting. 3 stories, I give them a nice little headline, you take your pick. Between now and 3, you're gonna learn 3 things. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the headlines are, I'll be no buying one of them.
Give us that again.
I'll be no buying one of them.
Nice, okay.
Yeah. We've also got, hippopotamus.
Okay.
And, can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Well, I'm gonna go for hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus? Right, well this one, it's, I'm not gonna take the credit here. I heard Christian talking about this on breakfast, right? Because it's a good story that happened. Basically, I don't know if I told you about it last week when we were having our spaghetti, but,
I think you did.
Right,
I know what it is. I know what this is.
Okay, I've not heard this.
Right, there's a little midget. Right, there's a circus.
I'm loving it already.
Circus going on somewhere. I think it was in America. And,
is that present day or old times?
I'm talking, like, in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right? Little midget, circus, really packed out show, people are loving it.
Right, Steve, you'll ask the same question I did, I know.
So there's a little midget jumping up and down on a trampoline.
That's what circus is.
Right.
I'd pay good money to see it.
So, everyone's clapping, and he's getting carried away.
Because he can't believe they're loving it. I didn't know they'd like a little person on a trampoline, but they love me.
But you know what it's like when, if there's a crowd of people sort of encouraging you to sort of go higher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it was getting out of hand. But he was jumping, and he was coming down, they're all going higher, and he's going really high in the air, right? So he's doing this, crowd are clapping. There's a hippo, right, just sat next to the trampoline, getting ready to come on and do his act.
Oh, right, I thought he was in the audience.
There's a hippo getting ready to do his act, Steve.
Yeah. So
he's a ventriloquist.
What do you mean he's sitting by the trampoline waiting to do his act?
Because it's...
Why does he sit in the dressing room and they go, 5 minutes. Mr. Mus. 5 minutes, Mr. Mus.
So anyway, right, so the hippo's there,
He's getting annoyed, is he? Because the midget's
He's
eating
going,
into
how
his
can I
tongue.
follow this? How can I,
He's
this is
probably
really
thinking,
annoying. They're gonna be, oh, no.
So,
He's thinking, he's already done the trampoline, my pogo stick act is never gonna work.
Yeah, go on. So there's a hippo waiting. See, it's a great story, and I just know he embellishes it, or he gets slightly wrong. Go on.
so,
So there's a midget jumping up and down, the hippo's getting annoyed, he
The
wants
crowd are going
The
mad,
crowd
the
are going
midget's
mental.
loving it, can't believe his luck. Although you think, he probably knows he's dicing with danger.
yeah. So, next thing you know, they're all saying higher, higher. He gives it one big, like, heavy sort of landing on the trampoline, goes really high, but goes off at a funny angle.
Oh.
Hypotenuse.
Okay.
Yeah. And sort of flies off.
Hypotenuse!
Sure.
Flies off at a funny angle.
Oh dear.
Hippo's there, swallows him whole. Crowd are clapping, thinking that's why the hippo was waiting there.
Rubbish. Rubbish.
It's not rubbish though.
But no, maybe there was an accident in a circus with a midget and a hippo, but at no point was this hippo waiting to go on, going, come on. The midget flew off at a hypotenuse and landed in the hippo's mouth and was swallowed whole. This is what you embellish it. That is great. And what's
I
that?
have to say though, Rick, when I heard midget, trampoline, hippopotamus, I was thinking accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe, I mean...
It is that, you should never put those three together.
Never.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It's
Everyone
textbook.
knows that. Midget, trampoline, hippopotamus. Are you mental?
You're asking for
Well,
trouble.
Well,
You know, when he told me it, he said, and the midget, he didn't mention the hippopotamus, and he said the midget went on, and soon he fell off, and the hippo ate him. And I said, sorry, what was the hippo doing there? He went, it's a circus.
I've never heard of a circus having a hippo.
What do hippos do?
What can they do? You can't train them, can you?
What do you...
Aren't they, like, very deadly? They're huge, aren't they?
You can't have a hippo in a circus.
you sure?
You're not thinking of Zippo?
He's neither clown.
Yeah. No, and it wasn't some sort of, where Zippo was eating a midget, and it's some sort of horrible sexual act.
No, it was definitely. I heard it on breakfast, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's definitely fact.
Yeah, okay,
it's definitely
right,
true.
okay, good. Well, let's play a record then.
So,
I'd like to play a classic Springsteen. We're all fans of Springsteen there. This might be his debut album, I'm not sure. Greetings from Ashbury Park.
I think it is, yeah.
New Jersey. And this is Growing Up. It's great, it's classic. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right, what's the clues
Right,
left?
well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be no buying one of them,
Yeah.
and we've also got chicken. You believe it? Chicken, you believe it? So they're the two that are left. Which one's you going
Right.
for?
Chicken, you believe it, is not that picture, is it? In that we saw.
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right,
no.
okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
right, so
I was about to explain
We
that.
can't really
but-
discuss this on air, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Karl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like the book of a book of freaks and weirdos and.
And Karl opened it, and the first one was like...
at the back. I
At the
started
back.
from the
Well,
back.
you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with two heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. yeah. He's loving it. At number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him off, and there he is, the chicken owner.
Right,
So Karl
so-
could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Chicken, you believe it?
I'll have that one
You're
then.
going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
We've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah.
about animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and then of course there was the the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked and
he said
his
to his
head.
mate, count how many times I blink when my head comes off.
Yeah,
Was that
when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as his head was in the basket, he said, quick, count how many times I blink. And it was Nick Frost that had to go, no, Karl, no, he said it before. I went, and that was lovely. So, yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things' heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one,
Yeah.
right? Back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
It's got a specific date, wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one, you know him as well, the lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in. So thanks for that. Chicken, it's called Mike.
There's a chicken called, sorry, I missed a bit there. There's a chicken called Mike.
A chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? Loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, you know, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, go out and get a fresh chicken, because my mum's coming round. So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, because I want to impress her, cause back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, alright, I'll just nip out and get one. So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945, I'd say that was after.
No, ended, well...
It ended in 1945.
Yeah, September, go on.
So, chicken's running about, he thinks that one, that looks alright, I'll have that one.
Mikey.
So he picks it up, and he cuts its head off.
Oh.
Puts it on the block, cuts its head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute, keeps running about. Oh, what's going on here? Right? He's now, like, chasing the chicken without an head.
Yeah.
He's saying, it should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and, the explanation, as I understand it, was that, certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off. So that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. How did it take on, protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute, he said, I could kill it now.
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
But he's thinking, it must really want to live.
Sure.
Right? If it survives that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So he, what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore, right? And he filled it with grain and water, and it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
incredibly.
And he dropped...
You know what, I mean, that is possible then, if it, without infection, without infection, if he was taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel, because the chicken obviously, you know... He said
if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but he was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all, because it had no brain.
Well...
What do you mean, wow?
I'm just saying what...
It was nothing, it was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies, right? That's all it was. It didn't have a brain. So it was... But I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the chicken.
I tell you this, what the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he set out, to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just the head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah! Oh, dear.
So, there you go, you've learnt something there.
Yeah, I have learnt something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more...
That farmer, I've learnt that farmer was very strange indeed.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Karl, I have a feeling like when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, there we are.
That's great.
So,
Educating Ricky,
right,
number 3.
Final one, you've had, hippopotamus, you had chicken, you believe it, and the last one is, I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
Alright. Interesting one, this. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff. Right? And another one that I came across, right? And, I was gonna use, I was a bit like...
What a great life you've got!
I was just, going on the internet and that, and I also, looking magazines, found a story about a bloke who, I don't know, he was messing about with a chainsaw and
I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
And his arm, come off, right?
Come off! What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Oh,
yeah,
So
okay.
It's like, oh.
Again,
Anyway,
He's going, oh no!
Oh.
so, there's a picture of him on a exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything, everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor said, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, you know, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that, a real arm, from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something, and,
they lost an arm and didn't want it back.
yeah, wait, I'll have it. Are you using that?
Yeah.
No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Well, it's first come, first serve, really.
I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we got a spare one.
So the doctor's going, let me put it on. He's like, well, alright then. So they do,
Ungrateful bastard.
so he does the operation, right? Everything's fine, he's loving it, he's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right, okay, if this is gonna be
He's
something
loving
like...
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
Right, if this is gonna be, and it was a leg, or
No.
it was a chimp's arm,
Or it was the arm of a killer.
It was two left arms, right? I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that, I'm just
What
messing.
is, okay,
Right. So he says, go on then, do it. So he sews it on, and, like I say, he's happy, he's brushing his teeth, he can have a pint in the pub, he's lifting a pint with it, all his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years, everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
Alright, so it all goes all like gammy, and then, for some
The arm
reason,
starts going gammy.
it goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. One arm's normal, the other one is like past his knees. It's he can pull his socks up without bending over.
So
It's
is this going to
really-
be they gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world?
No, he just said, oh, what am I going to do? And the doctor said, oh, there's not much we can do. And left it.
What?
Wait a minute, you can't
That's
leave
not
it
a
there.
story.
So, Karl,
That's
what?
not
You've
a
got to
story.
tell us the explanation.
Was
Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story. You've got no scientific explanation as to why.
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So that
Why did
hasn't
his
even
arm
made the
grow?
list.
Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just one of them.
It's rubbish again,
It's
isn't
not.
it?
Well, I don't. It's an interesting story, but you should
It's
have read.
not, and it's rubbish.
But you
It
should have
didn't
read to
happen.
the end. There was photos.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Karl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know.
You sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So leave that.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with the next one because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's ironic. That wasn't even the story. He was going to tell it.
Well, Karl, that's about it, and we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying.
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing now? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what? Did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it was hanging by a thread which made it look long.
Yeah.
Within the skin.
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy or...
Arms are very much like tights. They are very much
So the
like
one,
tights.
the one that we didn't get round to on Educating
Yeah.
Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. Yeah, I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, he just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial.
Did he say, why are you interested, Carl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
Well, some of that's useless, that's like a bit of a, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Carl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah, more than they do now.
Right.
More than they do now!
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
No. So, you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff.
Sure,
sort of-
yeah, as
factories.
sort of,
Yeah.
To move stuff
Tea
around
ladies.
and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh,
Right.
God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
You couldn't move from.
if you have a lot of something,
Uh-huh.
you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky.
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't...
They weren't properly.
They weren't
Sorry,
demicky or
Carl, what are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't
Basically
properly.
what-
Have you started making words up?
Right.
Yeah, you Stanley Unwin.
Listen.
Reincarnated.
What-
Demicky?
Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Where? Where is this?
Olden times.
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not
Well,
sure
it's
an
either
answer.
Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Well, these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So, that's why they're heading, I'll be null buying one of them.
Okay.
No, right.
So, what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back
Yeah.
then when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fella would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right?
This is great.
So,
Yeah.
a fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff,
Oh,
and
the
what we're
worst
doing and
kind, yeah.
stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, oh, I got it off that fella, and he goes, oh...
All this embellishing nonsense he does with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, innit? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that, you shouldn't
It
have bought
steals
it.
from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this, then I'm going to abandon it or anything,
Okay.
because elephants were seen as, like, pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino,
Yeah.
couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way, so they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, but a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So at that time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well-
What was that? All that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants. What is it? What are they had blue eyes. What are you?
Well,
Albinos have red eyes for a start.
oh, that's it, we've run out of time.
Oh,
yeah.
what? I mean, what are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any? Oh, I need some learning. I need some knowledge, Carl. Educate me.
I might be able to help you.
Go on.
We've got 3 things, as always. I'll give them a little heading to tease you as to which one you want to learn first.
Yeah.
First one is the tip included?
Is the tip included?
Like it.
Second one, I want to come here in hindsight. Right.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one, am I gonna have to thump you?
We're gonna have to thump you. Okay, and
we're
you've
gonna have
trawled, the internet?
So so if I can get into the mindset of this plan, is the tip included? Well, obviously, that's probably not going to be about a weight. It's going to be if that's someone losing the end of his knob, I assume. Am I going to have to thump you? That's a man who lost his arm in a fight, but then picked it up with the other arm and smacked him with it. What was the middle one?
I want to come here in hindsight.
Hindsight.
Hindsight?
Yeah, someone was blinded by baked beans.
Sure.
So what are you going for then?
I think I better go for, I'm gonna have to thump you.
Right, well this isn't... I've been struggling again, to be honest with you. Searching high and low for stuff, and some of these I had to leave till this morning.
Right, because there's just not enough knowledge out in the world, is there, that you don't know about?
I found out about something in the week about a guy who, was playing tug-of-war.
This is bonus material, isn't it?
He was playing tug-of-war.
Oh, his arm came off.
Only his arm come off.
Yeah, he got caught up in the rope, yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't get caught up in the rope, he just was trying that hard and didn't want to lose. He kept holding
But he allowed his arm to be pulled off?
He really wanted to win. And
Well,
the other team, the other team pulled it and his arm come off.
No.
Well.
I don't know who to believe.
Well, think about it. If he's gripping,
Yeah.
as soon as there's tension, like the arm coming out of the socket, the hand might release. I think his arm got caught up in the rope. And so it was involuntary, as opposed to him going, well, my arm's coming off, but I'm not gonna lose this! You might be right.
That's the fact you're
That's a bonus, that's a bonus fact.
Yeah, well,
That's educated me.
Well,
A man lost his arm? Oh, interesting. Go on.
am I gonna have to thump you?
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, shut your face?
Yeah, I've heard the well-known Shakespeare, innit?
Do you know how it came about?
No, Joe Dolce?
No,
Go on.
It's, ages ago.
Oh, yeah, literally, literally.
Like, knights who wore armour.
Okay.
That's, armour gonna have to thump you, that's how it came about.
Okay, armour.
They wore all the stuff, and they had the helmet, and say if they're guarding something at night, stood outside a castle or something,
Yeah.
and there's probably gonna be two of them, right? So they stood there talking and that, and, talking about stuff, and...
The future.
Sort of, yeah, medieval stuff.
One of them's like, oh, I wish you'd shut up, you know, I've been stood here for hours, and he's going on and on.
Yeah, sure.
So he'd say, shut your face. Meaning, shut the guard down on your helmet.
The visor.
And I can't hear you then.
Uh-huh.
So shut your face.
Shut your face.
And that's
Okay.
that's how it came about.
Well, I suppose that's...
It would be interesting if I could just rely on it as
I'm not sure it's true,
I
yeah.
know, I just never know, I can...
It needs to be corroborated.
It's like, I don't know where he got it from, but anything via Karl is precarious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe you should give us your sources next time. You know, tell us where you got this information from.
Got it off the internet.
Yeah, but where on the internet?
I can't remember where that one was. I mean, I always go through, like, the news pages and stuff, and I came
This
across-
news should be updated because they've only reached the 17th century, which was last week with people eating tomatoes off lead
but then
plates.
I look at news and there was stuff about a woman who was in a shop and she, I don't know, they had some workmen in doing the shop up, and they had some wood glue left out and she asked for some pear juice, and then the guy went and thought the glue in the thing was the pear juice and she went and drank that, but that's not really news.
No.
So I thought, well, we're not
really
having
anything.
that.
I wish you hadn't told us.
There was one about...
So there's some poor woman now whose tiles have fallen off because she tried to put them up with pear juice.
Yeah.
See, that's the danger of mixing up pear juice with toxic glue.
Yeah.
Your wallpaper and your tiles and everything just fall down.
There was
Be
also...
careful, everyone.
Be careful.
There was something about, kids having hamburgers, it makes them fat.
Hamburger.
Hold on. What? Having food with high fat content can make you put on weight?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. You're an idiot. What's the next one?
Well,
No, let's play a tune,
No,
let's play a
well,
tune.
you've
We'll
still
come
got
back.
to come, you've still got I Want to Come Here in Hindsight, and you've still got Is a Tip Included.
Carl just, said to me, here's something. You can't hold your breath to death.
Have you tried it, Carl?
Just a fact, just another little lesson.
There's someone here who's in a really low ebb. They've been listening to a show, they were going to commit suicide. They just start holding their breath and thinking, oh, screw it.
Well, what did you learn in the week, right? I'm always doing all the educating. I asked you were talking about watching a programme about jellyfish.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'll be interesting, I'll try and find some stuff out, but I couldn't find anything that I didn't already know about them.
It must be difficult for you to find anything you don't already know.
So what did you learn about jellyfish?
I agreed with you by the end of it, that they should be wiped off the face of the earth because they're balls of water in membrane right, that go around stinging people to death. Let's lose them, Karl. Let's lose the jellyfish. Yeah?
That's what I think. Because I was stung by one. You know?
Oh, you got stung by one? Yeah,
I was on holiday and got stung by one.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
No,
don't understand them.
I'm not a fan of them.
So that's that.
Good. So, well, that's sorted out the jellyfish conundrum. We've solved that particular worry.
Right then, so, take your pick then.
I asked him if he could have any animal the other day. Did I ask him on air as well?
Don't know.
Off air, he said, I've got it down to 2. Right, and this was, he said, what favourite animal looking at, or could I own one? And I went, you could own one. And he went, right, but could I own one, or would I have trouble? I went, Karl, you've got all the expertise, you can just have it in whatever it needs, and you go down there. He went, right, and I won't regret it and get fed up. I said, no, Karl, just what animal, if you could have any animal, what animal would you love? He went, I've got it down to 2. I went, what is it? He said, either the rhino or the hippo.
What's your logic?
Well, I don't know. That was then. I mean, ask me tomorrow, and I might have 2 other favourites. Do you know what I mean? When was that?
A couple of weeks ago. When was that? Well, you were there.
Yeah, but you know.
What are they today? Quickly now. First animal that comes into your head.
Now. Any animal I want.
You could have any animal in the world.
Right.
From one that's maybe extinct. Anything you want.
Right. I might have. Just for today.
Just for today.
I might have a scorpion in a little box.
A little scorpion in a box. What's your thinking?
It's the chimp every time. It's the chimpanzee or the gorilla.
No. But, have I told you that programme about the scorpion? How they all help each other out?
Right. Scorpions all help each other out?
No, this is brilliant, right? Somewhere in the desert.
Okay.
There's these little...
In the desert.
It's like these little monkeys that are underground or something. And there's holes.
Is this Beneath the Planet of the Apes? The 4th in the series.
Are they talking apes?
Oh, forget it, actually.
No, and you've got it wrong anyway. They're not monkeys.
There's little monkeys under the ground. What are they doing down there? Toiling in some underground mines?
They're lizards, if you remember. And the lizard goes to sleep, and the bloke comes along. You've told this, and the
we've done it. All right.
Monkey from monkey. Lizard. That's what happens in his mind. From lizard to monkey. Oh, evolution would have been so much easier if Karl was around.
Right.
Turn it into a monkey. I'm fed up with the lizard.
Just promise me once again, Karl. I've asked you before. Promise me you'll never have children.
Go on, right, okay.
Right, what are you having?
What are they again?
Is the tip included?
Yeah, go on, that one.
Right. In Turkey...
Nice.
It's not, actually. That's where I went, and there was them little fellas after Suzanne in the kitchen.
What? What do you mean?
We went to Turkey.
You went to Turkey and there were some little fellas?
Well, they had quite a few sort of midgets working in the kitchen.
Why? Is it a theme?
No,
was it a theme holiday?
I don't know. Might get them cheaper or something.
Was it?
So they were
working. Them cheaper.
They were working in the kitchen, and one of them fancied Suzanne and kept sort of eyeing her up, and she was winding me up, saying, "Oh,
not eyeing up and down, just eyeing her up."
Yeah.
Anyway, no. So
what was she doing in the kitchen?
No, it's like a pick what you want to eat type buffet, but you have people clearing the tables and that ready for you to come along.
Are they low tables?
And you know, he was just keeping an eye on her.
What did he say though? Was he? What was it?
It was Turkish, so I don't know what he was saying.
But he was a
little fella, yeah.
Did he?
What do you mean a little fella? What do you mean little fella?
Sort of dwarf-like.
What do you mean dwarf-like? He had magic powers, or he was 4 foot?
No,
what do you mean, Karl?
A little bloke, just like a normal bloke, but small. If you stood him in the desert, you wouldn't know.
But he'd be hot and thirsty. Right, Karl.
You should watch out for the monkeys.
Yeah, underground.
Those underground monkeys are
look, you can't just say there was a little midget fella who was eyeing up my girlfriend and then leave it. What do you mean? What was happening? This is a story to us. This is much more interesting to us than, and she was deaf, right, and she hit her head. That's much more interesting.
I don't understand how it manifested itself. Did he come over and say something? No,
do you know when, it's like girls know, don't they, when someone fancies them.
What do you mean there was lots of them as well?
Do they? That's worth knowing.
Listen, right, come on, right, so you went to this holiday, yeah?
Yeah.
And you went into the dining room or something?
Yeah, downstairs.
And you looked over.
You thought, this is odd, there's no one serving.
Yeah, and they go,
wait a minute.
Hold on, you looked down, and there was a little waiter.
There was loads of them running around busy.
Why, though? Why did they get
summer?
What do you mean?
Because it was in summer.
They had more of them
They come out in summer. They come out in summer.
What do you mean they had more? What do you mean?
Because it's busy, isn't it?
No, but they hibernate in the winter.
Why were they all midgets?
I don't know, maybe it doesn't heat stunt your growth or something?
No!
Well, they just happened to, maybe it was a thing that they did for tourists or something, I don't know. I just got on with my meal, it was a holiday, do you know what I mean?
Go on.
Right,
So some midget serving. I'm not going to ask any questions.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're all little fellas running around, and this one always was like, you know, oh, do you want a new serviette? You know what I mean? Going out of his way to sort of...
for turning on the charm.
Yeah, he was going out of his way. The others weren't.
Right. I think what was happening is he'd been working with Santa all sort of winter.
Yeah.
This is sort of little summer break.
This one
He
was
hadn't
your
seen a girl.
waiter, and so he was being polite to you.
Maybe.
But what did Suzanne say then?
Well, she was using it to wind me up.
What was she saying? Oh, he's...
Oh, just like, you know, look.
he may be small, but he's...
Well...
built like a...
Yeah, he's all man.
So...
Were you jealous of a midget then? You were jealous of him?
It is a bit annoying, isn't it?
Why?
It wouldn't bother me as much now, because I've been with her for ages.
Right.
But at the time, that might have been one of our first holidays, and it's like...
You don't want
what's going on? I paid for this holiday.
Yeah.
And then you get off with a midget?
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway...
But it doesn't matter, because you got chatted up by a bearded lady, so...
Tell you what, no, that's got nothing to do with that.
What were you going to say? What were you going to say?
I was going to say the hotel was half board, and maybe...
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say it's just one of her shortcomings.
So listen, right?
Play a record.
Drum boy, born again. Right, just get this educating Ricky out of the way. So, Turkey, yeah. So what is this again?
This is educating Ricky, is a tip included.
Right.
Apparently a fellow was on holiday in Turkey. He's just having a normal holiday, weather's good, you know, he's having a good time. And
Waiters are all normal height.
Yeah. He's having his meal. He hears a load of screaming going on in the kitchen.
Hold on.
Has his girlfriend wandered in there?
And they do,
With a step ladder.
Yeah.
the circumcised people in the kitchen, and apparently...
What are you talking about?
Whoa, slow down. We were sidetracked there for a minute.
What are you talking about? Well, I'm excited about two things at once here. One, they circumcised people in the kitchen. Two, I guessed it was someone losing the end of their knob.
He did, yeah.
I started thinking like Karl Pilkington.
Extraordinary.
That is amazing.
Apparently it was going on, it wasn't just a one-off either. Well, when I say a one-off, I mean, they did it more than once.
Yeah.
Right? And there was, he was there for a week, and apparently the first night it was quiet, and then the rest of the week, every day, it'd be like having his breakfast, or even his lunch, or even his tea.
Yeah.
He'd be doing it all day.
Oh.
You'd be hearing
Lunch
screams.
and breakfast, fair enough, really.
Yeah, but
circumcision at tea time.
Don't do that.
And apparently it's a tradition over there. You can't even make a complaint about it. It's like, well, you should have found out before you come over
See,
here.
I can't believe this is
So
true.
I'm a little
I
bit
can't
lost.
believe this is
He was
true.
in a restaurant, in a hotel, and there were people having circumcisions in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm even worried that we're bordering on the racist here, suggesting that is tradition, that Turkish people cut the end of their cocks off in the kitchen.
Yeah.
At meal times. I think you're wrong, Karl.
This just sounds ludicrous, Karl.
No, I don't think it happens everywhere.
Right.
I think this
Just in
this hotel?
certain places.
Certain hotels.
Certain hotels.
What, is it like 2-star?
Yeah.
No, I don't...
Why did he go to the Foreskin Inn? It was his own fault, wasn't it?
So, that's...
Sorry, that's it, is it?
Have they closed?
Wait. That's the story. You educated me, right? Once a fella saw some Turkish people cutting the tip of their knob off in the kitchen. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Karl. Got any more?
Well, there's things you can learn from it. Either don't go to Turkey.
No!
Don't have calamari when you're over there.
Karl. Okay, Karl. One more.
Can't we just...
Don't get the ump, just because so far you've come up with nothing. What's the last one?
Give us the teaser clue again.
It was, I want to come here in hindsight.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight.
Yeah.
Right, give me some education. This will be the thing that teaches me something. I can feel it in my bones. Come on.
There's a kid in Kenya. He was messing about with some beans.
Magic.
We guessed that as well.
You did, yeah.
He's fed up because we've guessed his puns, I think.
He put one of them in his ear.
Yeah.
The mum or the dad said, oh, what have you done that for, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll have to take you to the doctors now. So they took the kid to the doctors, and the doctor said, oh, he said, I can get that out, I can sort that out for you. So, he took it out, and the doctor said, right, that's £3.50. And the dad said, I've only got £2.70 on me. And the doctor said, right, well, and he put the bean back in his kid's ear.
I don't know what to say. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
couple of questions from me, very quickly. Are you sure that those were definitely the sums involved, were they?
Well, the equivalent of whatever the deal with in Kenya.
Yeah.
It was the equivalent of,
£3.15,
you know...
£2.
So what currency was it, Carl, that you translated into sterling?
I don't know. No, it was saying in the thing, it said the equivalent of...
£3.15, £2.70.
Did it say that?
Yeah. So
did it say that?
Yeah.
Carl, look at me. Look at me. Did it say that?
Yeah, it said that was the,
Did it say that?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It definitely said that. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, I suppose, I don't know, I mean, all these things, the idea is, it's not like a lesson, it's like, I'll tell you this, see what you can get from it.
Sure.
So you look at what I've told you already, the Knights who said shut your face, that's like...
that's amazing.
That explains itself.
Yeah.
Turkey with the circumcisions in a restaurant.
Yeah. That'll hold me in good stead, yeah,
Don't go there, whatever. Yeah. This one, if you're in Kenya, don't put beans in your ears or something. Doctors
or carry £3.50 or the equivalent of.
It's just the idea that the doctor put it back in his ear. He forced it back in his ear. So is it still there to this day? I mean, is there any update on that story?
Or did he go back with the £3.50?
I presume he either went and got like a second opinion, see if he could get it cheaper.
Right.
From another doctor.
Yeah.
Or he said, right, I'll come back next week.
Yeah.
After I've been paid. Or he saw how the doctor did it and thought, well, I'll have a go at that. Sure. I'll get home.
Yeah, for free.
But he never said how it ended.
No.
But, I mean, I apologise for this week, 'cause I mean, I haven't got that much out of it.
Coming up on the show, we've got Educating Ricky.
I'm not happy with this.
Oh, really? Because the last few weeks have been genius. What is a drop in quality, is there, of the education of me?
Well, it's just, like I said, I've wasted a lot of time this week searching on the web, right?
You wasted a lot of time searching on the web because you come up with things that aren't true. Why don't you look in books and verified sort of like journals?
The web is the new book, though, isn't it?
No, the web is the new book.
That's the new going wrong. Yeah. Well, so I've been searching, there's hardly anything. I spoke to you in the week, about Monday or Tuesday.
What did you say? There's nothing happened this week in the world.
There's nothing going on. There was a new car wash that you can put dogs in.
There was a car wash you can put dogs in.
That's the only thing that's happened in the world.
And that and the jellyfish, and we've covered that, so...
Can you just quickly tell us about the car wash with the dog in it?
I don't know what's the story.
That didn't make the top three.
I didn't waste that much time on it, to be honest.
What did it say?
It just said, you know, how busy are you? Have you got a dog? How about saving some time? There's some car wash out. It's not a car wash, it's dog wash. You take it down there, put your coin in, put your dog in, and it comes out clean. See, there's nothing in it.
Is this called a bath, isn't it?
No, but it's like a machine.
Right.
There's a machine. But we'll, you know, that's why I didn't pick it.
Carl, come on then.
Right.
I need some education.
No, it's Rockbusters.
I know, but I need education. I need some education.
I know, but we've promised some Rockbusters.
Educating Ricky, I will be ditching before Christmas.
Why?
It will be going.
Why? Because there's nothing out there.
It's just struggling. I was thinking on the way in today, I can either do, doing something more with Steve, because we've done, like, the Ricky angle. Either we can do,
Educating Steve?
No, either like a bit of a call my bluff type thing, but it's like a con merchant, and I have to like trick you.
Okay.
Con
so
merchant,
I'm the con, and you're the merchant. And then, I was thinking something that you just do some work, and you have a moan for a bit, and that's a bit, that's like a wine merchant, you just like whine on about something.
Again,
the pun comes first with you, doesn't it?
You've worked out that first.
Yeah.
That's like, I told you I've come up with a couple of sitcoms for me.
Go on.
One is I've got an imaginary navy called Merchant's Navy. I've got a navy in it, and the premise is I've got a navy. And another one is I live in...
And that's as far as he's got as well.
Yeah, that's all I come up with. If you've got any ideas there, Karl, then that'd be much appreciated. Another one is I live in quite a salubrious part of North London, and that's called Merchant of Little Venice. And I live in Little Venice. Again, I don't know what happens. But, any ideas, Karl? You know,
I've got one when I play an Italian waiter, and it's called Shut Up a Gervais.
Yep.
That's
that's the one we're working on now, actually, to follow up with The Office.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do something with that.
Yeah.
We have still got Educating Ricky.
Looking forward to that.
Go on, let's have one.
No, I'll give you the titles.
Give me the titles, yeah, go on, yeah.
Right, you've got 3 bits of info that's gone on in the world, or
possibly
sort of information.
Older times. Never go further back than the 17th century, do we?
Well, no, let's make it clearer. There's 3 bits of information that people have put on the net. Whether or not they're true, different issue.
And that he still gets it a little bit wrong in translation, and sort of adds bits to it. Yeah, go on.
So we've got,
I love it when he plays out those historical dialogues. You know, it's like the 15th century, but he goes, so anyway, a bloke says to himself, I'll tell you what I'll do.
So the horse isn't happy. Yeah, go on.
Right, so the 3 that you've got to pick from, you've got, get your kit on, we're off down the butcher's.
Let's get your kit on, we're off down the butcher's,
We've got, wash up with you.
Wash up with you.
Wash up with you! Yeah!
And the last one I couldn't really think of a good title for, so it's just, why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something?
It's mine and Steve's favourite bit of the whole show. This is what we do this show for now. Educating Ricky.
Yeah.
Go for it, Karl.
Who said that learning can't be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, I'll go for the one, what's the one about the butcher, going down the butcher shop?
You've got, get your kit on, we're off down the butcher's.
Yeah.
You going for that one?
Yeah.
Well, do you know the saying, don't let the cat out of the bag?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
Yeah, well, don't give away a secret.
Right. Well, do you know how it came about?
No.
Well, ages ago. Before, like...
Ages ago. 17th century?
Yeah, before, like...
Yeah, 17's good. Yeah.
Before, like, you know, proper butchers and Dewhursts and supermarkets and that, you used to get these blokes who sold meat. Right.
Butchers they were called then, I think.
Yeah, but the difference was they didn't stay in the same place, they moved about. Right, so they'd turn up on a street corner, and he'd have, like, loads of carrier bags of, like...
Carrier bags?
Yeah, with meat in and that, and people would
Plastic
be like,
carrier bags?
Yeah, with mobile butcher on them.
Yeah.
Right, so,
and an email address.
Yeah, go on.
People went, right, yeah, I need some meat, right, so they'd go up to this bloke, and say, what have you got? And he'd say, well, I've got a, you know, you can have a bag full of pig, or you can have, whatever, a bag full of chicken, whatever. Yeah. And they'd go, yeah, how much? They go, oh, you know, call it a fiver, whatever.
Yeah.
And, they'd buy them, and to make more money, they didn't always fill the bag with what they said was in it.
Oh, I thought that might be the case.
Right? Yeah. So what
did
they
they
used
ever
to
put cats in there?
Yeah.
But I don't see what...
Okay, so sometimes they would put a cat in the bag and pretend it was chicken or whatever else.
Yeah, so
why was a cat any cheaper than a chicken?
Because cats are wandering around the streets, aren't they? Chickens aren't. So they'd get a chicken, they'd put a chicken on the top so that when they look in it, they'd go, yeah, that's alright. Got a bag full of chicken. They'd get home to make the dinner, and they'd be like, what are we having tonight? And they'd go, well, you'll never guess. And they'd have, like, you know, well, you can have a chicken leg, and, you know...
But it would be a cat. Yeah. They'd have to defrost a pizza.
Yeah.
Did they mind that they were eating cat then? In those days?
He didn't say. He just was saying about the saying, don't let the cat out of the bag. It's like, you know, if they see that, they're gonna go mad.
I'm mildly disappointed with this story. It's alright if it's true, but, you know, there's something about it's just... I want to know more. He always leaves it... Is it Karl doesn't quench your thirst for knowledge, he creates more. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Well, yeah, he's like the pot noodle of information.
Yeah, do you know, he never... I want to go...
I'm not nourished by it.
It's if for every fact he tells me, there's 10 others that spring up that I have to get clear.
Well, so it was the people that were doing this, it was the dodgy butchers that coined this phrase. Were they saying to each other, don't let the cat out the bag? I.e., what I mean by that, Jack, is, don't let them see the cat.
Yeah.
What we've stuffed in there.
Yeah.
Dodgy butcher, that's another phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the first one.
Is that a euphemism, or is that dodgy butcher?
As his meat delivered round the back.
Sure.
So, that's that one. So let's get your kit on.
What does that mean?
It's a euphemism for homosexuality.
Okay. And meat, presumably, in that means different things.
It doesn't. It's a word that is also a male bird.
Would it mean chicken or cat necessarily in that context? Or well, I suppose it could.
Yeah. Carl's look at him. Carl looks at you like a cat.
Yeah.
Whenever we leave him behind, if we don't talk, like, straight at him and let him see our lips moving, and it's, you know, monosyllabic and very easy to understand. Look, he's lost in that conversation there. He just drifted off, didn't you, Karl?
No, I just was also thinking on animals and that, something else I was gonna use.
Go on.
Was,
This isn't a radio show, is it? I just suddenly caught myself. This is nothing.
I told you that before. It's been bad today.
No, but I mean, it's the way, this casual way that it's like we almost have no regard for our listener. And I'm not proud of that. I just don't know what to do about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to do this properly. I mean, we're just chatting here. I mean, it's only Anderson who's seen through us. And that surprises me, that more people haven't. I mean, what are the figures like? Do people listen to this show?
I'll find out for you.
You keep saying that.
But, yeah, there's this parrot. And, apparently, it lives
I mean, Rick, it's unique, if nothing else. I mean, when you wake up with Woken tomorrow, you're not even gonna hear him start a line with, there was this parrot.
Go on, there was this parrot, yeah, go on.
And it can talk and that. Someone's obviously, you know, taught it how to speak and that. And, it flew away. And it's living in this church. Right? And, people are at the church doing hymns and that, and then...
Trouble's brewing.
In between the hymns...
If that parrot was owned by an old miner who used to swear a lot,
well,
then the vicar is gonna be really annoyed. That vicar, that vicar's gonna go on.
I just hope it stays quiet, Rick, during the vicar's sermons.
Yeah, go on.
Have you read it?
No, go on. Have you read it?
No, because that's what happens, right?
Go on, tell us, Karl.
During the hymns, it's sort of effing and jeffing and stuff.
Effing and jeffing?
Yeah.
And everyone's like going, oh, you know, it's quite funny, really, you know, it doesn't know what it's doing. Everyone's having a laugh.
Yeah.
But it's causing a havoc at funerals.
When did this happen?
Not years ago.
John was a much-loved man. He was a wanker!
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that was another story.
What can you say about Uncle John?
Bollocks.
Oh, Karl, I love the fact that when you look at things, you go, that's interesting, a parrot swears at funerals.
That'd be a nightmare.
And it stays with you. You see, for a simple man, you retain an awful lot of knowledge. It's just all rubbish.
It's all
Do you know what I mean? If you just replaced all this rubbish with good stuff, you'd be an intellectual.
Yeah.
Really. Because, I mean, your retention is fantastic.
Yeah. So
I lose you again there, did I?
So
was it the word retention? Right, Karl, come on in, educating Ricky. So, don't let the cat out of the bag, that's where that, comes from. Comes from a crafty butcher. Right, go on then.
So the next, little headline is, Wash Up With You.
Wash up with you, go on.
You wanna know about
that? Yes.
It's a survey that they did. Survey that they did this week.
They?
Yeah, some university did some survey.
Brilliant.
Did a world test on washing up.
Yeah.
And, each country were given 140 pots to clean. Brits were the quickest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turkey were the slowest at washing up.
The Turks.
It's not because the little fellas that work in the kitchens with no, is it?
They can't reach.
Spain were the cleanest, and the, Germans were pretty good as well, so...
I don't know where to start with this. Honestly, Steve, I don't know where to start with that. Look at his face.
It was really light, right? We've had the parrot, right? These are things that I found. Found the parrot, right? I've told you about the dog in the car wash.
Right, you didn't tell me about that. You said there's a car wash for a dog. That's all you told me.
Yeah,
the
but
parrot, you said there's a parrot. What? It's a problem at funerals.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. Do you understand?
And,
they used to eat cats.
what else have we got? There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
Why?
There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
No, I'm interested. Why?
Tap dancing?
Why?
Yeah, I didn't write that
He's
much
trying
down
to
about
break
it.
Roy Castle's record. He's still going.
Go on, what is it? What is it? Think.
It's an elephant, and it was really old. It was about 76.
Right.
And it had sore feet, because it's old, and
They don't make stair lifts that big, do they?
roads are bad and that.
Yeah, go
on. They said, what we're gonna do? And the town was like, oh, you know, we're used to seeing it around, it's part of the thing, you know, we don't want it to have sore feet.
Yeah.
So they got some slippers made for it. And it had like a picture of the elephant looking happy wearing some slippers.
I love him! I love Karl, his world! wild. Think of it. Where did you see this picture?
That was on the internet.
Right.
That's a lesson, though, for any elephants listening. You know, don't wear stilettos to work every day, because it can do your feet in.
So that
But don't elephants have really bad memories?
No, they have
great
really good
memories.
memories.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good then. No, I just thought they'd forget where they put them. I thought there was something about elephants having bad memories and that.
It goes on, where's my slippers?
Yeah.
I'm sure I left them by the text.
So, sorry, there's an elephant walking around wearing slippers?
Yeah, there was, that's in
What
India.
kind of slippers? Those sort of old man ones with the sort of checkered
Well, round
design.
ones, I imagine.
Yeah.
Big round ones.
There was that going on.
And is it happening? Is it happier? I mean, does it feel
No,
more
it
satisfying?
looked it.
Did it look? How can you tell? How can you tell for elephants, please?
What else is there? There was a woman who's had a breast insured for 150 grand.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
it's
more
what?
information there?
What? Third party fire and theft?
Don't know, it had a picture of her with them, like, you know, out. I just thought, yeah, he should get them covered.
He's done another real joke!
Brilliant, that's a proper joke.
He's done, look at his little face, he smiles.
I'd like to see you on one of the sort of TV panel games. If they could bring back sort of celebrity squares,
Yeah.
it'd be amazing as the centre square.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't that be
incredible.
extraordinary? Or on that countdown in Dictionary Corner.
I imagine him in Dictionary
Well,
Corner.
I'd come up with cat, if that helps at all.
Yeah. Memblent.
Yeah, what does that mean, Carl?
Just anything you want it to mean. Oh, what I've got, there's a dog that's got a cough in Singapore, because it smokes 20 a day. Right, okay, another one.
So, no, it's the last one in it, so
Yeah.
we'll save it. The last one we've got is why don't they just
Sorry,
get-
what was that? Wash up with you, that was it. But was that it? Survey of washing pots and
I
pans.
didn't
washing
understand, you said Italy were the cleanest.
No, Spain.
No, Brits were the quickest.
Yeah.
We were the quickest, but Italy was the
Spain
cleanest.
was the cleanest.
Turkey were the slowest.
Yeah.
Spain were the cleanest.
But why weren't we clean then? Because we were washing up, why were we not paying attention to the
We did
bits
it
of dirt
rubbish, we
bristle?
did it quick.
We did it quickly, but I don't understand why it was
Hold
being
on,
rated on.
who was doing it? Was it Lynette Newman or Ainsley Harriott?
She's quick, both of them are quick.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like kind of loads of slaves that do it for them.
Did we use fairy liquid?
Dunno, it didn't have
Did
all
we use a
that.
whole bunch of Boy Scouts?
Didn't say that. Just
Like
said-
Lynette.
It just said, you know, that.
Who had the
Who
softest
volunteered
hands?
for that?
Who had the softest hands?
So it didn't say, I didn't.
Why is it we don't get notified that this is taking place?
I don't know.
When I was a kid, no one ever said, you know, we need recruits because we're doing a survey on who can wash up
Yeah.
the quickest.
Are you disappointed in yourself with that one, Carl?
It is pretty dull, to be fair, and that is why we've got to bring in either con merchant
Okay.
or a wine merchant.
Or shut up at your face?
Yeah.
Would you be able to, if I put you on the spot in the next, sort of after the next record, would you be able to give an example of how con merchant would work? I mean, is there something you could do just to sort of experiment
Should we play
there?
record? Should we play record?
Play a
I've
tune,
got a
what do you
cough.
reckon,
I can do better than that.
What?
Ads.
Go on. We're doing educating Ricky. Right, final one. Come on, Carl.
Right, what was it? It was, why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something to write on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Snappy.
I couldn't think of a heading for it. It's basically,
Go on.
people who have tattoos, I've never understood it, right? That they have something put on their arm.
Right, sorry. Have we started the educate? Is this part of it? Are you educating me? This is something that will be useful in my life that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Go on then.
No, it's just like they've got a machine out, right, that, does tattoos.
Tattoos.
You come up with a design you want, and you sort of, this machine scans it, and, you put your arm in this thing, and you press print or whatever, and then it does the tattoo on your hand, or on your
What, like
arm.
loads of little needles that follow a pattern?
Yeah,
computer, is it?
basically, yeah.
Is it a real tattoo? It's a proper
It's a proper
tattoo.
one. The fella said,
Well, as long as it goes out, it pierces the skin with a
I just wondered if it's one of those kind of, you know, those kind of
No,
two-layer-
it must be lots of little needles or a moving needle that can go
Sorry,
along
but
it.
how is this cleaned, like, in between each person?
dunno, probably, I don't know.
Well, no, as long it's only that if it's one needle, it's just the head, isn't it? If it's one needle that moves and
Right.
does it like like loads of little.
What are we gaining from a machine doing it?
Just because you know they're not going to sort of mess it up.
But hold on, how do you keep your arm still? Because your skin moves slightly. It's the machine
it's
won't.
sort of strapped to your arm.
Right,
And
so
the
it's
fella,
spread-
I mean,
so
the
it-
fella said that the tricky thing was in all this, it was the fact that, you know, nobody would let him test it out on anyone else, so he had to do it himself.
But did it work? Because the thing is with a tattoo
worked,
artist, they
yeah.
can see when your skin's moved and they can see what they've done and they keep wiping it and looking. Whereas a machine's just got to trust itself. So I think one needle. could go wrong. If it was a lot of needles that it just came down, like, you know, 1,000 needles that was an imprint.
Yeah.
But,
No,
obviously I'm asking someone who's, hasn't delved any further than there's a machine that can give you a tattoo. That's all you've got at the moment, isn't it?
Well, yeah, basically.
That's all you've got?
I mean, that's what I've got, because I'm not a fan of tattoos, I don't.
But where did you read this again?
This was,
Internet?
This was on the internet, yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay.
And I just don't understand why people do it. That's what got me attention. Because me,
Sorry, what have I learned from this?
that if you wanted to get one, you know, you can get one done by a machine now. You know, people say machines are sort of taking over and that. And there's another one. But it's just the fact, I mean, I don't know.
So give us the snappy title of this education again.
Why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something to write it on? That's what I always think when I see people with loads of tattoos. Like, there's that fella who we were talking about the other week in Scotland who was covered 99% in tattoos. It's just like, what have you done that for?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't get rid of it now. You've done it now.
Yeah.
One of my uncles, right, Tattoo Stan, he's just caked in them.
Tattoos.
Right.
I don't think he's my proper uncle, but it's just like, me dad's got...
Tattoo Stan!
No, my dad's got...
That's a province in Russia, isn't it?
My dad's got loads of mates who,
When you
like,
say he's not your
names.
proper uncle.
Do you know, like, when
Just a bloke
someone
who used to
comes
hang around
round,
by the school?
alright, Uncle Stan?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And my dad had loads of mates like that. There was John the Screw.
Right.
So he either works in a prison, or he likes to have sex.
Cabbie. Cab driver.
Okay.
There was Jimmy the Hat. I don't know what he
Jimmy
did.
the Hat?
Yeah. And,
Did he wear a hat?
No.
No.
There was Fred the Veg.
You sure he wasn't a relative?
Sorry.
Fred the Veg used to get us, like, big bags of potatoes and that.
Fred Veg, okay.
And there was Tattoo Stan.
Right.
And he was just caked in them, and I used to always look at him thinking, why have you done that? I must have only been, like, you know, 6
I suppose if you're born with a name like Tattoo Stan,
Exactly.
you're destined, aren't you,
were
really?
they like a 1950s gang?
I'm worried
just
about,
like-
I'm worried
Who were doing
about,
a bank job?
what was his name, the Hat? What was his name?
Jimmy the Hat.
I'm worried about Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Not having a hat.
I don't understand
Are
it.
you sure he didn't have a hat?
Not when I met him.
Did he ever wear a hat?
I didn't see him that much.
Do you think it was a joke, like, you know, when, your mate's sort of like, you know, 8 foot and huge, you call him Little John or Tiny? Do you think...
Well, the fact that he never wore a
Yeah, they
hat.
went, hold on, I've noticed something about Jim. Go on. No hat. And I go, oh, true, let's call him Jim the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat, yeah. But me Uncle Stan, he had, like, loads of them. He did them himself.
Oh dear.
And it was always that thing.
God, what was it things like?
It was, he had, like, the
cross.
cut here.
Cut
one
here,
on
made
the
in
neck.
Britain.
And if you're going to do them yourself, I'd say at least make sure you're sort of a good drawer.
Yeah.
And don't do it in the mirror, so it comes out backwards.
Well, that was the other thing. But, like, I remember he did, I mean, names are alright. He had, like, all his kids' names down his arm. And,
what were they called?
Yeah.
oh, God, it's...
Tattoo Stan Jr.
Yeah.
and,
Paul shits the bed.
I'm trying to...
Oh, Wobby Kate.
Yeah, yeah.
But he had...
Frankie never amounts to anything.
Oh, go on.
So he had, like,
Yeah. Johnny, I don't think he's mine.
so he did all this... I don't even know why I'm telling you about tattoos.
No, nor do I, Carl.
Hey,
to be honest,
I don't know that I don't know if, maybe you just have to picture this, but my sister had to take a photo once. She was working in, like, a factory. Not to denigrate people who work in factories, but there happened to be a particularly oddball, kind of lank-haired, weird guy working in this factory. And he did his own tattoos. And she took a photo of it because she was so extraordinary. He'd drawn it himself. Now, bear in mind, it was the kind of thing you saw when you were doing art when you were, like, 15. This is the sort of person who designed their own, like, heavy rock album cover.
Yeah.
He's that sort of person. So, I mean, like,
was it a dragon with breasts?
You're not far off, Rick.
No.
You're not far off. I'll tell you what it was. He had this tattooed on his back. It took up his entire back. She took a photo of it for me. He drew it himself. He had it tattooed himself. And it was just too much detail. Too much detail for a tattoo. It needs to be fairly simple, I think, to make a tattoo. It was... it was a naked female vampire having a shower.
Why was she having a shower?
Having a shower. That's why she was naked.
Yeah.
And so she was
She'd been
beautiful
out,
woman.
she was, presumably,
She'd been out at night,
been out, a lot of blood. What,
Yeah, well, she was naked, so you could see her naked body.
Yeah.
She's quite a beautiful vampire, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Although the symmetry of her face was somewhat off.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that gave it
Well, he
away
had a bad spine.
was that she did have some pointed teeth. I think that was how you knew she was a vampire.
Right. Was she looking?
But the fact that she was having a shower was very specific,
weird, isn't it?
But he sort of drawn in
he said to the eye, he said, listen, I want a naked bird, right? But I don't want it to be gratuitous. And he goes, well, you can put her in the shower, because then they went, pop her in the shower.
That at least gives some kind of justification.
That's the plot. I mean, you know, it's justified within the story if she's in a shower. Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll have that. Karl.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Any other nicknames your friends of your family had?
What was your nickname, Karl?
Just, Pilky, really.
Because for a minute I thought Karl the Veg would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, Karl the Veg. And why has your dad got a little tattoo, dopey twat, on his arm?
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you guys, because we've just had an email here,